Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome back to yet another episode of the Locked On Sound Podcast. Joining me, as always, today is my co-host, Hunter Trumbull.
I'm not the only one joining us today. We have two guests. And it's Tyler Manning and Justin Dixon, the Captain Justin Dixon. And we're here up in the Shiawassee County looking to find... Is it Shiawassee County?
It's not
Saginaw County.
Saginaw. It's Saginaw County. I'm already too many beers deep. But we're going to get this podcast started. Where do we want to start, Willie?
With Justin Dixon, sure.
Well, yeah, but what do we want to start? We want to start with fishing, duck hunting? Where do we want to go?
Well, who are you?
My name is Justin Dixon. I own and operate Slappin Guide Service. I offer fish and trips for walleye and perch, Saginaw Bay, Saginaw River, Detroit River. Also an avid duck hunter. I don't really guide too much for that because that's my thing. I take these two knuckleheads with me more than anything.
You don't have time for that.
No,
Come on now.
duck hunting is my thing.
Shitty clients.
Yeah. Guys that camp out in my barn. I don't know, but we have fun.
We do.
Hunting flooded corn, of course.
Just had to throw that in there.
I gotta get it out there really because these guys warned me.
Yeah.
Oh, my name's Tyler Manning. I'm just a good friend of Justin Dixon, and I've got to know these two guys over the last 5-6 months. Don't duck hunt anymore, but I'm a big deer hunter. But when we do duck hunt, I hunt flooded corn as well.
The best way to duck hunt, some would say.
Some would say, this whole table would say.
This is true. Where do you want to start?
I want to start... Let's start on the fishing scene. So I am not a big fisherman, but obviously you're a captain and a guide, and you've taken us a couple of times. So just give us a rundown of the day in the life of being a captain from home all the way to Detroit.
So, I start my spring, April, and May in Detroit on the Detroit River jigging for walleye, and then I come back home mid to end of May, and I troll the Saginaw Bay for walleye. All the way basically up till Halloween time. Then we'll start jigging the Saginaw River plus trolling the bay on the nice weather days when the waves won't kick your ass, and that's pretty much what we do. We do ice fish, but obviously that doesn't happen anymore. So
Yeah, we never get ice.
we got out once or twice this year.
I wouldn't even say we got out. We just sat there and got drunk.
Well, yeah, but whatever. We caught fish.
Were you guys on the river? Saginaw River? Or?
No, we're right here in town.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, wow, okay. All right.
That was the day Justin lost his phone.
I didn't even know you lost your phone.
Yeah, it was a bad day, but I got it back. Luckily.
How'd you get it back?
Find my iPhone is a beautiful tool.
Where'd you lose it?
Oh, so you dropped it on the
At the
ice.
bait shop.
Yeah, in front of the bait shop.
Oh, okay. You didn't pull a Willie and decide to drill the world's biggest hole in the ice and then drop your phone through
I
it?
like ice fishing because I don't like the cold. Unless I'm shooting ducks, I don't want to be in it. So I hate ice fishing. So my thought was, well, you know, people spear pike and shoot pike when they're, through the ice. So I was making a big hole so that way I could shoot. And I had my phone in my chest pocket, and I leaned over the hole to grab the chunk of ice, and bloop.
We've all been there, buddy.
Yeah.
He says bloop, and I'm like, he goes, oh shit. I'm like, oh, he must have caught a big one. I look, I'm like, how big is it? Him over there is screaming at the top of his lungs, motherfucker, just screaming. And I'm like, what is going on? I look down there, and I fucking see a lit up phone at the bottom of the lake.
Oh, you didn't even watch it do the floor.
No, I had to go down to the bottom, and I just see it, and I'm like, hold on. He goes, what? He's like, what are you doing? And all of a sudden, you see it light up. I'm calling it. I said, yep, that's your phone.
So some fish down there have a very nice dinner table.
Yeah, they got a nice little dinner table.
Well, they got to listen to music when it rings once in a while.
Yeah.
Until the battery
How far
dies.
down was it?
It's probably about 12 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, you could have got that back.
He didn't want to get in.
Yeah, I ain't getting in that water.
All right, so
$400 for a new phone. Fuck that.
So I guess we'll talk about the techniques for everybody who's a big walleye fisherman. So I don't know much about it, obviously, but jigging's my favorite. I like jigging, but Willie does not like jigging. And I guess what's the other version called? But using
Trolling.
Just trolling.
Yep.
But you're using boards, right?
Yep, inline planer boards.
All right, so tell us a little bit about that, like setting up.
So basically, you use the trolling Bible. Tell you what, whatever lure you're running, it'll tell you how far back at what speed will get you down to what depth. Use your fish finder, find your pods of fish, and you stay above them. Don't ever go underneath them, anybody, because you're not going to catch them. I'm going to tell you that right now. Don't stay level with them. Don't go underneath them. But the biggest thing to remember is you want to target your fish that are suspended in the water column, because those ones laying on bottom are not your active feeders. Jigging obviously is the complete opposite. You know, we've been out the last 2 days. Me and another buddy went out yesterday, got a 2-man limit. This morning we got a 4-man limit, but it's you know, jigging's fun. It's a hand-to-hand combat sport. You actually feel the fish bite. You know, you're constantly busy. You're not sitting there waiting for your board to go off. So that's, a lot of guys like that better, but obviously up here on the Saginaw River, we get a lot of smaller fish. You know, your bigger fish are out in the bay until March. That's when you'll get your bigger ones. I mean, I did get, what did that fish weigh today?
3.25.
Yeah, 3.25, which isn't a huge walleye, but that was our big one for the day. But that's basically it. You know, trolling your speed obviously is a big factor. Your depth that you're fishing. But yeah.
Now, see, I love jigging. It reminds me of ice fishing. I like it. But that might be because I'm good at it, or better at it than I am other modalities of fishing.
Well, we'll turn Willie into a jigger. He
needs. Yeah,
I'm the bass fisherman. I suck at jigging.
He's over there. He's over there like
God put
bored.
bass on this earth.
You're the bass fisherman?
I'm a bass
Fish
fisherman.
pickles?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, but
sure
God
does.
put bass on
He
this
swings
earth
both
so
ways.
everybody could catch
He's a receiver.
Because anybody can catch a bass. You throw something in the water, that stupid thing can eat.
I don't know. I see a lot more walleye get caught in this state than bass.
Well, that's because nobody fishes for bass.
You don't want to fish for bass.
I mean, they do. I mean, tournament guys, whatever.
Crappie and walleye is my favorite.
I'm with you. They like to troll. I hate trolling.
Jigging's. I love jigging.
Oh, I love jigging. I wish I could do it every month of the year,
Except-
but it just doesn't happen.
I like to catch fish, so I will put that behind me and I will go troll.
Down there. He's looking for the beer. He can't find it. I told you he swings both ways.
Another reason I don't like trolling is because I'm a ginger and I burn. So most time when you're trolling, it's hot out. Who doesn't like the sun?
Nah.
My
That's fair.
redheaded ass
You're
does
redhead.
not.
Yep. All right.
But yet, this doofus signed up for the MWT Michigan Walleye Tour with me this year.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up because now we can swing right on into that. So tell us a little bit about that.
So, I got a team together this year. We're going to fish a Michigan Walleye Tour. It's a 4-stop circuit. It fishes, we start in the Saginaw River March 16th and 17th.
Yep.
Then we go to Detroit in April. Yep, that's in April.
Yep.
And then we go to Gray in June.
June or July.
No, it's June. July we go to Alpena.
July's Alpena.
Ooh.
And then, if we can place well enough and get enough points, we go to the championship on Burton Mullet Lake.
In September.
Yep, so it's our first year.
Little ASMR.
First year fishing this tournament series, and we're excited about it. So,
So what is prize win for that?
first place for any of the 4 stops is $12,000.
Damn. That's a good fishing trip, right?
That is a good fishing trip.
And if I remember right from last year, me and another couple buddies fished the Detroit tournament last year. I believe they pay out the top 25.
I believe that's what it is.
We're rooting for him because do we need a new motor? Did we get that fixed?
No, we need a new motor.
We need a new motor. We need a new motor, so we're rooting for him. He's got to get
We
it.
have 2 that are limping right now.
We got 2 that are limping?
Oh,
I'm behind the times.
Yeah, you weren't up here during duck season.
Well, I had shit happening.
But yeah, it's. Anyways, we're hoping that we can make something happen here. Obviously, there's a lot of good teams in this. So,
How many teams are there?
150 per stop.
Wow.
Damn.
Now there's 7. Was there 80? I think there was 80.
80 or 85.
Yeah,
that
teams
signed
that
up
are
for the
doing the
whole
full
tour.
series.
Gotcha.
And then obviously you can just join single events, but there's up to 150 boats in each stop.
So you're just battling those 80 guys, though, that are signed up, right?
Yeah, that's who we're battling.
Yeah. Now, can they podium if they've just signed up for one, or is that a separate podium?
No, they still can. So as far as the way that I understand it is they cannot make the championship.
Gotcha. They just can't get to the final in September.
Right.
All right. They can still win money, but they can't
Oh, yeah.
get to the
Yep.
final.
Yep.
And it's biggest fish, right? Not quantity of
No,
fish?
it's biggest 5.
Biggest 5. Okay.
Oh, wow. All right. So now, this is a fun
You're allowed to
segue.
put 8 fish in the boat,
But your biggest 5.
but you're only allowed to weigh 5.
Now, are you guys above putting lead sinkers in there like the other guys last year?
Don't even bring that up when my name is involved. Small Fry. So for anybody that doesn't know, Hunter's nickname is Small Fry.
We don't know why.
Yes, we do, because he's
that way on the podcast.
Because he's short.
There's not very many people I can pick on for being shorter than me, but Hunter is one of them.
That's not nice, guys. I am a quality guy. A short, Small Fry's not a bad nickname, but
I could call you a lot worse.
yeah, it's true. Hey, don't be calling me worse. I'm nice. What the heck?
Short stick.
No, I didn't ever ask you your opinion on that. What tour were those guys in?
That was the Lake Erie tour.
Oh, okay.
That was a bad deal. I mean, cheaters are that's something that doesn't belong in tournament fishing.
And then they also got busted for poaching.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, if you just bad guys all around. I mean,
if you're shady, you're gonna always be shady.
Yeah,
no,
you know, and karma's a bitch.
Yeah,
man. I mean, it's a real thing. You can get away with stuff for a while, but sooner or later, you're gonna get caught. And when you do, I mean, especially in that circumstance, I mean, them guys have won hundreds of thousands of dollars in
boats,
sponsorships,
and prizes and cash, and I mean, to basically throw your whole fishing career away because you want to be shady. That's just I don't know.
Now, what do you think the normal amount? Because I feel like I always hear about it on fishing, so I don't know, but I feel like cheating happens quite a bit in some of these tournaments.
I'm sure it does.
Guys catching stuff, putting them on a string, putting them somewhere, or doing something weird.
The tour that we're fishing, if you get caught touching shore with your boat anytime during the tournament hours, you're DQ'd.
Oh, all right.
There are boats out with camera crews. There's boats out that are just watching, and they're unmarked. You don't know who these people are.
Yeah.
So if you pull up the shore all of a sudden and hop out of your boat and pull something out of the water, you're done.
You're done. They're going to know.
It's that simple. And that's the way it should be.
That's the way, that is the way it should be.
You know, and
you can't roll up and go potty nowhere. Like,
no.
It's on the boat.
Yep.
No, you got to shit in a bucket.
You're allowed one fuel stop, and it's got to be at a marina that is designated to do so, and you still cannot leave your boat.
Yeah, and there's probably people there watching you at all times.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You know,
but to keep it fair, that seems to be the way it needs to be.
What a lot of people don't understand, though, is this series that we're fishing is only a Michigan tour. There's a national walleye tour. There's a lot of bigger ones that have even more money that you're paying for entry fees, more money in prizes, you know, boats. Yeah. I mean, you're talking, some of these guys are winning $150,000 boat for winning this tournament. You know, so, I mean, people they get greedy, you know. And if you ever watch the interview with them guys, they interview that guy on the boat, and he says, "We win because winners win, and that's what we do." Now, in my opinion, if you're that cocky to say that, you're guilty by association.
That is very cocky.
I don't care if you're the best fisherman in the world, the best duck hunter in the world, the best whatever.
You're dealing with a wild animal.
Yeah.
And it's all, some of it's luck and some of it's knowledge, but there's a lot of factors going on, not just winners win.
Absolutely, but winners win. And if you ever hear me say that, then just take me up. That's all I got to say.
I got you covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay humble.
Stay humble.
Now, last year when we fished the MWT, we did the Detroit tour there, or the Detroit stop. And the people that took first place, they were already awarded the trophy, everything, their plaques. They came up, took pictures. Well, another gentleman put in what's the word I'm thinking of? He tried to contest it or whatever you want to call it. And they ended up getting booted.
Oh.
Because they accidentally tried to weigh in 6 fish. And people seen it.
Yeah. No, so that's an extra fish. That's quite the advantage.
It's a big advantage.
They give you these black crates. You walk up. They have like 4 or 5 different dunk tanks. You know, you dip them in, keep your fish alive, move on down the line. Then one guy takes your 5 fish, puts them in a certified container, and then you take them up to weigh them.
Yeah.
Well, somebody seen them dump 6 fish, and the guy's like, "Oh, one too many." Threw one out. Here's your 5, and then they won. Well, somebody contested it because other people had seen him do the 6 fish. They got booted. They got knocked. They ended up coming in second. And another guy that I know, they ended up taking first, and I believe they won 14.
But the thing is, I mean, mistakes obviously happen, but when it comes to tournaments like this where there's that kind of money on the line,
You're counting your fish.
oh, absolutely. I mean,
You're doing everything twice, three,
Tyler
four
will
times.
contest to this, and he's going to kill me for bringing this up.
Oh, here it comes. I know
But
what he's going to say.
Fred Wallace will be proud of me.
Shout out to Fred Wallace.
He fished a tournament last year on the Saginaw River, and their fish bag didn't have a zipper on it, and Tyler decided to throw it up on shore. Well, guess what happened?
All the fish dumped out.
Nope.
How many went back in the water?
2.
But it cost him probably $1,000.
Oh!
I would say a minimum of 1,000 up to $2,000.
Wow.
Oh, that was a bad day.
Oh,
So-
everybody looked at me like they wanted to kill me.
I bet you they did.
That's a
And-
bad day.
So he learned from that, and then I heard rumors this morning of him knocking fish off with nets, but he was a net guy today, and he did damn good, so...
I knocked probably a 7 to 8 pounder off last year in Detroit. I did.
Oh.
I'm going to chalk that up to who he was fishing with, though, because Fred's a shady character, so...
Oh, no.
Yeah, you got to learn from your mistakes.
I guess so.
So what I did after them 2 fish fell back in and everybody wanted to kill me, on my way home I ordered a brand new bag for Fred's boat with a zipper that floats.
He said it'll never happen again.
It'll never happen again.
Why a guy
Now
would
it's really
throw a
not gonna
bag
happen
full
again.
of weighing fish on shore is beyond me, but hey,
I couldn't get out of the boat with the bag in my hand and climb over the railing. I thought Brian was going to turn around, and I tossed him. He didn't. He kept walking, and yeah, big.
Miscommunication, a bag that didn't have a zipper.
$1,000 miscommunication.
So who's
100% my fault.
who's on the team?
so there's myself, Tyler, and then Justin Eaton. You guys have never met him. Another guy that I've known in the fishing world for quite a while. And we're going to give it hell.
Are you using your boat?
Actually, we're going to use Justin's because mine's going to be slipped in the marina in Detroit, for guiding.
Yep.
Okay.
And his will also be slipped down there, but he's not a guide. So he can pull his out a lot easier.
A lot easier than you can.
Yeah, so...
And since you now just I don't know how this works either because you have your stickers for being a captain, right?
Yep.
For being a guide. Does those stickers mean anything out there? Like does he since he's not a guide, he doesn't have those? Does that differentiate? I don't know.
Well, in tournament, it's nothing. Obviously...
I didn't know if that would get you looked at or like people would try to mess with you or fuck with you just because it's like, oh, he sees captain stickers on there.
Well, it's a prime example today on the Saginaw River. There was 4 or 5 charter boats, and we have to display these stickers saying State of Michigan charter boat, legal for hire. Well, guess what happens when everybody pulls up and sees 5 of them boats in the same drift?
You're gonna hop right in. You're gonna hop
I'm going to
in.
tell you right now, we were playing bumper boats.
Oh,
I don't know
jeez.
how many times I had to physically move off our drift and go around somebody, or
People that were spot locked and just right in the way.
it's... I can go on about this forever. That's my pet peeve. If you're in a good drift, don't ever spot lock. If you do, you're just asking for it, man.
We were close to smacking a dude. I turned around and told, because Justin's looking the other way. He's watching his line, trying to keep the boat vertical. I tapped him on the shoulder, said, you might want to move. Turned around and looked. We were not even 5 yards from the front of this dude's
Oh,
boat. He's sitting there
shit.
spot locked.
Then he gives me a dirty look. I don't know. If you're going to jig on a river and you're in a main drift where there's a lot of boats and you do that, you don't even know what you're causing. Like, it's that go find somewhere else out of the boat. If you can't keep your boat vertical, that's just not the spot for you. I'm sorry, and it's blunt, but all you're doing is screwing everybody else up. And if the funny part is if it was me that did that and somebody seen my boat there, I'd be on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Look at this asshole. But when it's not me, it's fine. So it's just, I don't know. People just, there's guys out there, you'll see them, they'll throw an anchor because they don't have a trolling motor. They're in a 12-foot John boat with a 3-horse outboard on it, or oars
You just
for that
described
matter.
our boat.
That sounds like us. Yeah.
And they'll anchor in the middle
We
of
seen a guy paddling today.
away from the boat ramp because his motor wouldn't start. So instead of going back to the dock,
I'm still fishing.
they rowed upstream so they could drift back down
That's basically trolling.
I'm going, you guys are diehards, man. I mean,
hats off to them dudes, but they was going the wrong way.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'll do stuff like that to kill ducks, but catch fish, no.
No.
And we made, how many moves we make today? Probably 5 or 6, give or take. And every time we would take off, you would watch 5, 6 boats ride our coattail. Mm-hmm. Wherever we went,
you the whole way up the
wherever
river.
we went, they followed his boat. They'd wind up in the same.
Well, fishing's one of those things. You see people reel up a fish, you see them hold the fish, like,
right.
And you're like, all right, they're catching them, and then it's just a matter of figuring out how and why.
Well, that's the sad part, is, I mean, nowadays, I'm not a huge fan of the whole social media thing. I'm just not. Duck hunting or fishing. And the reason being is because, you have to use social media as a tool to advertise. Well, then everybody knows your boat. And I don't mind helping people out. If you message me on Facebook, I'll try to point you in the right direction. But that's the problem, is everybody knows your boat. They'll be on plane going down the middle of the river, and they see you, it's an e-brake.
Yep, right. Here they come. That guy knows what he's doing. We're gonna go check him out. We'll figure, even if he's not catching fish right now, eventually he will. That's our fish finder. We don't need it. That's something that me and Willie would do, because we don't have a fish finder. So we'd be like, all right, let's look for a boat that looks important.
It's fine, but the problem is some of these guys will crowd you. If you start a drift with me, that's fine, but don't make it so I can literally poke you in the eyeball with my fishing pole.
Right. That's true, yeah.
Well, it's the same thing with duck hunting public land. How many times do we pick a spot and then there's 20 guys around us? I mean...
It happens all the time.
That's coming out 5 minutes before shooting time.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. See where people are at, I'm going to go right over there.
Yeah, and they'll shoot ducks over your spread. They won't even put out decoys.
Well, I mean, the less work you have to do, I guess.
Yeah.
No, that's called ignorant and lazy.
Well, we agree. I guess, so give us a rundown. What's your favorite weather for walleye?
So, I like March.
Probably a rain the night before to get the river nice and dirty.
March and early April are my favorite because I like catching big fish. Now, don't get me wrong, going out right now and catching these numbers is fun. But to me, the big fish are the fun ones to catch. I'd rather go out, when I'm going out to fun fish, I'd rather go out, if I just got a boat full of you buddies like you guys, we're going to go try to find big ones.
Right.
To where when I'm guiding, it's all about numbers.
Making sure they're happy that they caught fish.
And it's funny. I mean, it happened today. We started out really slow. The whole boat was silent. I mean, I'm talking silent. Like you could have heard a mouse fart. And we made a couple moves. Finally got on some fish, and then there was a little bit of talk. And that's doing my job. That's like your worst kryptonite. Is you're like, okay, these guys are all getting mad. They paid you, and I get it, but it's still fishing. I mean...
Yeah, it's not catching, it's fishing.
Yeah, fish, especially in these river systems, these fish move. So where the fish were yesterday, where I tried to go back to get on them, they're not there now, so we have to go find them again. But I mean, these guys that went with me today will contest. I mean, what did we go? We went from Zilwaukee way up into northern part of Bay City, and I mean, you're talking...
15,
18
20,
miles.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, that's what makes a good guide, in my opinion, though. You can't be scared. I watch a lot of guys, well, I'm not going to spend that much in gas. You have to. Right. That's your job.
Yeah, but that separates the boys from the men, right? Like, that's why you got a full boat.
That's the only way your clientele comes back.
Yeah, if you want to spend that $50 in gas, they're probably not coming back.
If you work your ass off to make sure that them guys have a good time and they get their fish, more than likely they will come back.
And they'll tell people, and they'll come back, and they'll bring more friends.
Not only that, but we were at, I don't know what we were at, 20... We were probably at 25 fish when 5 hours was up, which my normal trips run 5 hours, but, we stayed out at least an extra hour to get them their fish. I mean, that's just... You got to do what you got to do. I hear people complain all the time, well, this captain took me out, and 5 hours was up, and... we still needed 4 fish, and they said, "Oh, too bad." I've had trips where I've stayed out 7-8 hours.
Damn.
It's just.
It'd probably been different if you were double booked for today.
I only do that in Detroit though, and that is a whole different ballgame.
But like today, like he said, I think we were at 25, 26 fish. We looked at the one guy, and he had some people coming to do some stuff at his house today, and he asked him, he said, if you want, like, if you got to be somewhere, we can leave. And he goes, if not, He said, we'll do another drift. And he goes, yeah, I got kids that can handle it. Let's do another drift. We did another drift, and we caught all our fish.
There it is.
It's a good drift.
Well, we know. I mean, me and Willie know it's all about name recognition and name brand. It's just about being friendly, having good customer support, and doing quality work. And that's exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to make sure that your name doesn't have any tarnish to it and that people always have a good vibe with you.
Yep. And my main thing, it's not always a limit. I mean, obviously that's the end goal, but, as long as guys have fun, and today was kind of a different story because the wind was blowing the boat around a lot, so I didn't get to turn around and bullshit with guys, and, you're concentrating on keeping the boat control, but normally, it's jokes, laughs, no different if you guys are on. I mean, the one guy brought his daughter today, and she absolutely kicked his ass. And she was reminding him of it nonstop.
Like, she was like, boom, fish. Hey, Dad, you gonna catch any fish? This is number 7. I like you.
I mean, she literally took him to school, and it was, and that's the other thing is it's all about the quality of the experience. Right. It's not, and I mean, you guys can contest to this. You guys have been on guided duck hunts and goose hunts and what have you, but it's not always about the number. I mean, obviously that's what everybody always wants, but if that's the only reason you're going, you shouldn't be doing it. I mean, how many days have we went out together duck hunting and shot? Well, I mean, I know it's great for you guys, but shot 9-11 ducks, and I'm pissed right off, and you guys are doing
now, but I will say, I think that right there, had me and Willie acted like most hunters and gone out and shot 6 ducks and been pissed, I don't know if we get an invite back. But you like that we came up, we shot 5 or 6 ducks, and you're pissed, and we're over there like, this was amazing. And you're like, what are you talking about? This is great. We don't shoot ducks back home. We love this. We'll be back. And you were like, oh, I don't have to be jacked up about not shooting that many ducks. Like, I'm mad for myself because I wanted to shoot a limit, but, like, you guys are happy, so shit. All right, that ain't that bad. We're happy-go-lucky no matter what.
Well, it's a prime example of opening day this year. Was the second day you drew? I don't remember.
It was the Sunday of opening week.
Yeah, so, we didn't get the draw we wanted. Ended up in a marsh zone, river blind, but...
Thank you, Caleb.
Well, yeah, we went out. Caleb, we went out and shot, a bunch of teal, which it's fun.
We came out with 19 birds of 5 species. It was my favorite hunt of the year, I think.
I mean, as the joke on Facebook goes with me, BDM, big ducks matter, and that's referring to mallards for me. And these guys will tell you I'm the biggest mallard snob you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, it is
the biggest mallard snob is an understatement.
It's great. We'll go out
to your left.
As I look at
we'll go out and he'll be like, I don't know, it ain't a very good mallard push today. And we'll be like, well, how are the divers? And he'll look at us like we're idiots, and he'll be like, they're shooting them fine. Why? And you're like, well, we can go shoot those. I'm not shooting those junk birds. We'll try this other zone for mallards. Okay. All right. We'll try that out today.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, black ducks, pintails, that's all fun. Gadwalls, widgeon, but yeah, now that's
kryptonite.
Yeah, that's like my five duck list right there.
See, that's hilarious because back home, me and Willie are the exact. Well, we just don't have a lot of mallards happening, so we have to get into whatever we can get into. But it's mostly mergansers of any kind, buffleheads, ringnecks, and wood ducks.
And wood ducks, yeah.
And wood ducks.
That's
the most. So wood ducks, your first 3 weeks of your season, then they're gone, and after that, you're just killing the living crap out of buffleheads and mergansers.
Well, I'll shoot buffies. Them mergies can just
and
keep
coots.
going.
Coots. Willie does love coots.
I love my coots.
But I mean, it's funny. You guys know. I mean, you've hunted with me enough now. You always know if it's a drake coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Because if it's a Susie, you won't even see me move.
Nah, if he picks his gun up, he's like, that fucker's got a green head. I knew it. What got a shoveler? A shoveler got me and Justin for a second this year. Willie ended up shooting it, but we freaking picked up, and I'm like, we both picked up, and then Justin sat back down, and I put my gun down, and I'm like, what in the hell is that? Whoom! I'm like, ooh, I think he just shot an ugly motherfucker. And there it was, a shoveler. I'm like, ooh, I thought that was a mallard at first.
That was that opening morning.
Yeah.
That Sunday.
Because you said, why didn't you shoot that mallard? And I just snickered at you, remember? I literally went, okay.
Well, we all make mistakes because I shot that duel.
That's not a mistake.
Well, no, it's not a mistake, but of identifying because I shot them 2 a.m. and I thought they were coots. I thought there were two coots. We hadn't shot much in the morning. Boom. I thought I shot one, actually. I thought it was swimming off. I walk over, it's two green-winged teals sitting there, and I'm like, what? What happened?
Green-winged teals, too.
I know. I'm like, how the hell did I not see that?
See, I've been duck hunting, I'm 32, so I've been duck hunting probably...
You always got to throw that age thing in there, don't you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, because that helps me do my math.
Oh.
And you're old. So, I don't know, 20 years, 17, whatever years. I can't blow a duck call to save my life. So, no offense, but I can't buy one of your calls unless I want to hang it somewhere because, well, I can't blow it.
Well, I think I got 4 of them up there for sale. 3. That other one's my snow goose call they made me.
I got calls, I just can't blow them. I suck at it. I can shoot birds.
You probably should take them back with you, by the way, because put them on your website.
What one? Is your snow goose one?
The white one. That white and black one's a snow goose call you guys made me. Remember that? Right after I met you guys?
Right there on the end.
Yep. Go grab it.
We tried blowing it in here that one night, and oh boy.
I thought it was a Canadian call.
I'm so confused.
No, because when I met you guys at the Waterfowl Festival...
But there's still 4 up there.
No, there's 3 in that one.
Oh, the one on the end there. That's a snow goose call?
Yeah, you guys made that for me.
I mean, I know we made it, but I really didn't know it was a snow goose call. Did it sound good?
I don't know how to blow it either. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah. Like, we tried one night, we were out here drinking beers, and we both sound stupid.
That's a nice call, too. I love that color.
Shit, it is a snow goose call. I'm not even going to pretend that I know how to blow a snow goose call. That's more of like a speckle belly than it is a snow. I don't know how to blow a snow,
I was
but
going to say dying chicken, but...
I can blow a speckle belly a little bit, but we don't hunt any of that stuff up here. So I'm gonna be honest, as a duck call maker, all right, I tune it to the best of my abilities. And should I be able to tune it better? Yes, but we don't hunt them, so they're not something that I normally look at. So when someone orders a speck or a snow, I have to sit down and really I YouTube it, and I'm like, what do they sound like? I'm listening to them and I'm blowing it, and I'm trying my best. I'm like, dude, I don't blow these like we don't have them.
But that's fine, because what's best about that is you were 100% honest about it right now.
Oh yeah, and now we've sold a couple.
That goes a long way.
We don't sell many of them. We've sold a couple, and we've sent them down, and I've never had one bad person send anything back. And we've sold them to guides. Yeah. We've sold them to Snow Goose guides, and they have never said anything bad about them. So obviously I tuned them well, but it took a while. Willie can attest to that. I would sit there in the shot for 2 hours just sitting there tuning a call, and while most guys probably take 5 minutes, but I'm like, I don't know what these fuckers sound like.
My favorite review is still from that guide in Kansas who said they turned off their e-caller one day because it was flaring birds and started using our calls, and they killed 30 birds by the end of that day. And I was like, cool, that's my favorite. He
told me, and it was actually my first time tuning a snow goose call. So I literally packed it, I taped it, and I looked at him, and I'm like, I hope that goes well. And he goes, me too. And he shipped it down there, and we get that review, and I had my ego rolling for a little bit. I was like, ha ha, yeah, I'm good, I know it. I was like, don't let that get too high.
Still, my favorite hunt with these 2 knuckleheads, though, is the morning that was you 2, myself, and Caleb, and we needed, 2 more mallards?
Oh, on our 4-man limit day?
Yep, and, then here comes these mergs ripping right down the pipe while we have mallards working out front, cupped up, coming in, and if you guys would have shot, I swear to God, I would have drowned both of you.
I'd have been running. I'd have been running for the dike.
It was 11:52. We only had 10 more minutes left to shoot our last 2. That was our last chance.
I'll never forget that as long as I live, because I mean, there's mallards cupped up, coming dead in, and I'm like, don't you shoot these lawn darts. If you do, and
we shot our limit, our 4-man limit, and then 2 seconds later, I did shoot a lawn dart. And then we had to take photo ops, and I wanted to put my purty little girl on top of that pile so she could show off, and he yelled at me. He told me, no, she's not going nowhere near the greenheads. That nastiness isn't touching it. I had to sit there and hold my merg while they took pictures of the greenhead. She felt bad twice. I shot her, and she couldn't get pictures done. It's not nice to make the ugly girl feel ugly.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all for killing them. Because it saves the fish.
They're not picture worthy.
But they're not picture
come
worthy.
on. They're all right.
No, I mean, a pretty hood of McGanser, sure, but a commoner, red-breasted, negative.
Well, to be fair, it was a hen too. It was not a drake.
They're pretty birds, though.
Oh, they are.
I got a nice drake mounted. I love that bugger. That's a great hunt story, too. We hadn't shot anything all day. Me and Willie are alone, which, if we don't get invited to Justin's, it's a sad day, so we have to go hunt our own stuff, and that sucks. It was like negative 15 degrees. Oh, it was so cold.
So what you're saying is the flooded corn's better?
The flooded corn is better. We're gonna get there. Don't worry. We got haters to address, but we're sitting on an island in the middle of a big lake because that's what we hunt is big water usually. Well, bigger water. It's foggy, but it's cold. It's like it was so cold. I'm jumping. Here comes the only ducks of the day. Bunch of mergansers land, and I pull my gun up, and Willie goes, "Hold on, what one are you shooting?" And I said, "Oh, the fuck one you're shooting, but I'm shooting the only male in the whole entire pack."
15 of them, and there was only one drake.
He looks at me, and he goes, "Son of a bitch." And I'm like, "You can have whatever other one you want, but I'm shooting that drake in the back." He's like, "Touche, motherfucker, touche." So we pulled the trigger. He actually shot 2 hens. I didn't care. I put 2 shells on that drake. He was gonna die. He's on my wall now.
Yeah, but in your defense, when you're hunting with us normally, you're the last one.
I am the last one to shoot almost always because I am the caller.
Yeah.
And I enjoy calling a lot. So I will call until they are finished. And when they're finished and Justin calls it, they're up, and then I finish. And usually that means I'm the Susie killer because the greens got killed, and I'm like, nah, there's shells going off. So the last 2 Susies getting out of the hole, guess what?
And that's how
You're mine.
That's how the brown ducks always end up with my pictures.
Well, this sounds like I'm going to have to call into work a few times this fall, and I need to go on a trip.
Oh, dude, we have a ride.
Yeah.
We have a blast.
Whether we shoot 1 duck or 20, it's a good time.
It's a blast.
I grew up duck hunting like that. We do everything. If you can catch it, shoot it, trap. I grew up doing all that. That was our life. We hunted out here. We kind of quit. Back when the zones were closer, I got sprayed a few times, and we kind of got out of here. We started hunting big water, so we hunted Saginaw Bay for divers. Them birds are stupid. I don't care what anybody says.
They are dumb.
Divers are dumb.
No, we'll agree.
Especially redheads. The dumbest bird, I swear to God.
Still never killed them.
Oh, no. Old squaw are the dumbest.
I've never shot them, but I still think...
But I agree with you.
No, they're definitely dumb because I could have shot one while I was throwing up over the bow of the boat. It was 10 yards in front of me, and they're in the back of the boat like, "Hunter, shoot it!" I don't think I can, guys, but I could have thrown my gun and probably hit it. Like
we used to have a big pontoon that we would take out onto the bay, and you would have redheads come in, and you would drop 7, 8 of them, and then they would just circle right back.
I shot my first
right back to where their brothers and sisters died and just die again. And they would do that like 3, 4 times.
Well, that's no different than shooting geese during early season. If you get a whole family group that comes in,
I love
and you
shooting
shoot
some geese.
You shoot mom and dad, they're all coming back. You know, and that's, I hear a lot of people complain about that in September. Well, that's just not fair.
You know what's not fair? Life.
It doesn't matter. It's population control.
Right.
You're doing your part. Going back to that, I gotta frickin' talk about this. We're going back to fishing for 1 second.
Okay, all right.
Hook, line, and sinker.
So,
all right.
I get so many people that want to talk trash about keeping the 13 to 15-inch walleye on the Saginaw River and Saginaw Bay. Okay? The DNR put this in place, that size limit, and being able to keep 8 fish a day, because the Saginaw Bay
is overrun,
getting overpopulated.
Now, it was open year-round last year, right?
Well, the Saginaw River.
The river,
yes.
the river.
So, which is the first time ever. But the reason this is happening is because if we don't do something as sportsmen to take these fish out, they're going to eat all the food out of Saginaw Bay, and these fish are not going to be able to sustain themselves.
Yeah.
So all these guys that want to talk trash about the people that are keeping them 13 to 15-inch fish, I just want them to know they are the problem.
It's a legal fish.
I just made a post on Facebook after our trip today, and we kept some 13 to 15-inch fish. You catch a lot of them in the river this time of year. People, why don't them perch have stripes? Dinks, tiny ones. Who tipped a minnow bucket over? You want to know what? If you're going to eat a walleye, I don't care who you are, those are the best eating fish. Them guys that, they have no problem going out and keeping 8 5 to 10 pound females.
With eggs.
Yeah.
With eggs.
That are actually doing damage versus what we're doing. So
I'm guilty of that one.
We all keep them if we catch them. But what I'm saying is the guys that want to bash people for keeping them, you guys need to go somewhere. I mean,
they wouldn't make them illegal fish if they shouldn't be caught.
Well, it's no different than our duck limits, man. They're in place for a reason. Or I know that there's a million different skepticisms on what you're going to believe the DNR and the biologist, and yada, yada, yada. Don't know what they're doing, have no idea. They're ruining this, they're ruining that, they're ruining... Well, I'm sorry, but Michigan hasn't been ruined yet.
We have one of the best fisheries, I feel,
absolutely,
in the nation.
You got Lake Erie, you got the Detroit River, Lake St. Clair, the St. Clair River.
All them Ohio people are going to fight you on Erie.
Lake Huron, Superior.
Yeah.
I mean, we have some of the best fishable water.
And the salmon, everybody will say, well, they made the salmon go away. No, they didn't. That was invasive species, lack of food, all that. And that's the same thing's going to happen to the walleye fishery if we don't do our part. And the guys that don't understand that, shame on you.
Now, do you have clients at all ever complain about that, the size of fish that you're getting or keeping?
I've had it happen one time. I had an older gentleman, and it wasn't that he had a problem with what we were doing. He wanted bigger fish for himself. I told him, that's fine. If you can catch some bigger ones, and it was this time of year, it's hard to do. I mean, we caught probably... How many fish did we have that were 15 inches today?
Almost all of our fish today were between 13 and probably 16 inches.
Yeah.
And by I say 13, I'm talking they were like 13 and a quarter.
People say there's no meat on them, but you'll go keep a 12-inch perch. It's the same. It's the same thing.
We butchered them. There's plenty of meat on them.
But that's one of my pet peeves. We I don't know how we got back to that, but something clicked in my head, and that's just...
That's fine.
Well, that's great. That's where we want to go.
Yeah.
It absolutely drives me crazy. Like, I made that post on Facebook today, and I could show you. It's stupid.
We were reading the comments on the way back.
It's people that don't... The thing that gets me, and this happens to us all the time, too, it's people that aren't even in the industry. They just fish on their own time, or they're doing whatever, doing their own thing. They don't have nothing better to do but then to just criticize whatever's going on, or they want to make fun of whatever you're doing. But it's like, you don't understand. This is first of all, this is my living. I have clients, and then it's illegal fish.
Yeah,
and it's good, and it's good for the population of fish.
Right. And there's guys all the time that you'll read it on, especially a lot of these fishing pages on Facebook. Everything goes back to Facebook.
Social media, yeah.
Everybody's a keyboard warrior.
They wouldn't say it to your face.
No,
they wouldn't say it to your face.
I know half these people that talk...
They're not that dumb.
People that talk most of this trash are, they're probably still... They're the 45-year-old guy that still lives in their mom's basement, doesn't have a job, yada, yada.
They watch YouTube and think they know what they're doing.
Yeah, but you're going to tell... and I get these comments all the time. Keep keeping these little fish, and there's not going to be anything left.
Like he said, we like to go out and catch big fish.
Everybody does. But if it's illegal fish and you're doing everything the way you're supposed to be doing it, and you're catching fish,
excuse me,
you can keep it, and you can do whatever you do.
You didn't see me throw a single 13-inch fish today.
Let's say you're not keeping
just as good, if not better.
And if you have ethics, okay, let's say you're above that. Which, for whatever reason, you want to say that. If you're above keeping a 13-inch fish, you're not going to keep your clientele happy either.
Well, but this is the same... and we'll go back to this, and I'm not by any means a deer hunter anymore.
I don't know, you got quite a bit in your freezer right now.
I can't get into this.
I shoot deer because I like venison.
Fair.
But this goes back to the same thing with these trophy buck hunters. Now, everybody wants to say, don't shoot the 6-point. You know what? For the guy that gets out for one weekend a year, for opening weekend of gun season, he sees a legal deer and he pulls the trigger and he fills his freezer family.
That's all that matters.
But you're going to bash him. It's the same principle.
This brings up a really good point that I want to bring in, because we always bash on social media, and I think social media for fishing, deer hunting, and for duck hunting especially hurts, because if you're a kid and you're going out hunting, or you're a guy, you're just an adult male that's the first time hunting, or you've been hunting, and you don't kill a pile pick, or you don't kill 160, 180-inch deer, or you don't catch a bunch of whatever a big walleye is, you don't catch a bunch of 18-inch walleye or something, that doesn't mean you had a bad day.
Right.
That's what pisses me off, is they always think, well, I had a bad day day because I didn't get to take a picture of a pile. No, you should enjoy the moment with your buddies. You're having a lot of fun, and whatever you got into is whatever you got into. I hope you had a good memory, and don't compare it to all of the keyboard people, because you have to understand, first of all, these people are doing it for a living. They're taking pictures from everywhere. These guys are hunting every day of the year, and they're on 1,000 acres that you'll never have, and they're feeding these deer specifically to grow to this point, or they've found fields where these ducks are like that. Don't let their shit bother you. You are a normal hunter. Go have fun with your buddies and just enjoy it.
As both of you guys know, I used to work for a guide service that guided for waterfowl, and that's the same thing. You'd get. It's a wild bird, and guys would come and they're like, "Oh, we only shot 18 out of, we could have shot 60." Well, it's all the. Just hand the damn beer out. But it's all the same thing, But that's my pet peeve, and I had to get that out there. Sorry for my rant. If you don't like
the rant is great because it gets me on a rant, but now he's got a rant. So
I'm biting his tongue for 5 minutes.
I'm coming because he brought it up.
If you don't like my rant, I'm sorry. Everybody's got a right to their opinion, but that's just it.
So let's hear yours.
I 100% respect your opinion, and I already know where you stand on this. I've seen you shoot a button buck slayer. So Justin is 100% a meat hunter.
Yes.
No ifs, ands, buts. But the dude's dead-eyed dick, pull the trigger, deer will drop, except one time last year where he missed.
A big buck? But Willie did too?
That was 2 years ago.
Oh, sorry.
Calm.
Hold on.
2 years ago he shot a
Now I
buck.
gotta cry myself to sleep tonight again.
Vietnam flashback.
But last year he called me, said, "Hey, I shot one." And we go out, look for it. He clean missed. He misjudged. I can't talk. Misranged the yardage.
Okay.
Well, a week and a half later, guess who else did the same damn thing in the same exact spot in the same field?
You.
This guy. So he shoots at his. He misses. I think he goes out a day or two later. Ends up shooting a Susie. Gets the job done. Well, then my tag comes up. So I go out, do the same thing, same spot. There's always deer in this field. Good to go. I sit down. Here they come. I range. My rangefinder only goes like 112 yards because it's for bow hunting only. I'm like, that's 112. I'm like, all right, so she's probably, give or take, 160 to 180. I know my gun shoots like 8 to 10 inches low at 200 yards. Put it over the back, let her rip. Go out, called him, he comes out, me and him are doing the same thing that me and him did 2-3 weeks prior. I misjudged. Jesus, God, I can't speak.
Judge the yardage.
Yeah, what he said.
Yep.
Couldn't find her. Then I ended up going out and shooting one like 2-3 days later. Mm-hmm. But to where Justin was talking about the hunting restrictions for deer, it's no different than how he stands on the fishing restrictions. So, we have an overpopulation of deer as it stands right now, which I kind of believe, but I kind of don't.
It depends on the county.
It does. It's county specific. It's even inside the counties, it's area specific. Mm-hmm. I do not believe everybody should get handed 10 doe tags. My opinion, take it or leave it, bullshit. Because there are certain parts of the state where, like me and Justin, we could go out and shoot 20 does and it would do nothing here. But you could go 10 miles that way, you could shoot 20 does and then you will not have deer for 5 years. But when it comes down to your antler restriction or whatever you were talking about there, or bashing the guy that shoots the 6-point, where you stand for fishing is where I stand against that. Bigger deer is better for the herd itself.
So
if we don't have an older age structure in the herd is what's best for the herd.
So that's fine. But then let's do, I keep hearing this one buck tag.
I'm 100% for it.
And it's fine. But then leave people alone and let them shoot the buck they want to shoot.
I'm cool with that.
See,
I think me and you agree on the topic of a doe first policy.
we talked about doe first. Shoot your doe first, then your buck.
It'll never work.
Where that won't work is, so Wisconsin tried that. I believe Wisconsin tried the earn a buck thing. Is what you guys
earn a,
Yeah,
earn a
yeah.
buck tag. Yep.
So I believe it was Wisconsin that tried that quite a few years ago, and it failed.
Now, did the population boom because a lot of guys just didn't go out and earn it, or?
I'm not going to sit here and lie. I can't remember statistics and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
But
That's just because you're not that intelligent, but hey,
well,
keep going.
that too. Like, I've looked into all this, researched it, and I've had too many road pops here. I can't really remember. But I can't tell you how many people I know will shoot a button buck and say they filled a doe tag.
Yeah.
So they would do the same thing. They would shoot a button buck without having a care in the world. I'm not poking fun. But they would shoot a button buck without a care in the world. I'm not poking fun.
Hey,
Just so they could say that they did that
They got rid of their doe tag.
and they could earn a buck tag.
Yeah,
what technically isn't a button buck considered an antlerless deer?
it is.
It is, but now my stance on that,
What is it? 3? What is it? 2 or 3 inches?
it's got to be
inches.
3 inches.
3 inches.
At least one spike.
3 inches.
Where I feel if you shoot a button buck, I feel you should tag it as a buck.
It has nuts.
That's the way I look at it, but that's not how the law states it. So if you shoot a button buck, if you're my buddy, I'm gonna give you a little shit, but really
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, under the legal rules, it's
legal,
you
so-
can mark it as a doe.
It's legal, do what you want.
All I always say is I don't do it intentionally, but my freezer's always full.
I shot one of my first. It wasn't my first deer. I think it was my third deer. I shot a button buck, and I thought it was a doe. It was one of my first times being alone as a hunter, and it was just as the sun was rising. We were about 10 minutes into shooting light, and I looked at it, and I was like, "Yep, I'm pretty sure that's a doe. We're good to go." I shot it. It just so happened to have little bumps. I had no idea.
Well, according to Mr. Tyler here, who is Mr. Deer Magnificent, is
I wouldn't go that far.
if it's alone, it's a button buck, which is bullshit.
well,
Because I've shot quite a few
You're
does
talking
that
about
are alone.
a 12-year-old kid in a tree stand. He's like, it ain't got antlers. That thing's a doe.
Well, and I think
Hey,
it
bud.
totally depends on what time of year you're in. If you're talking mid rut and it's alone, yeah, it's probably a button buck. But if you're talking early or late season,
I was guilty once.
Once. At least once. Man, this dude. He calls me one day, he's like, look, man, I'm down to like the last couple days. I need to shoot a deer. I don't care what it is.
okay.
He's like, I got 2 tags left. I'm like, all right. Send him a pin. I said, go here. An hour later, he calls me. He's like, yep, got one. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. Well, that was quick. So I go to help him drag it out, and I had my kids with me. It was freezing cold. Well, my kids got too cold. I had to bail out, and he had somebody else come in,
Okay.
drag it out. So me and him go out like 2 or 3 days after that. We take the duck boat. We launch in the river on the wood side. We go all the way around. We go up into a spot. He's like, I'm just going to sit right here on the dike. I'm like, that's fine. I'm going to walk like 500-600 yards down, find a spot. We sit there all fucking day. Literally, all fucking day. Dark till fucking, dark. Don't see shit all fucking day except some dude and his kid pops his head in Justin's fucking tent blind and seeing what the fuck he was doing, then they took off.
What the fuck?
So yeah, I'm literally sitting on the dike, and this guy comes. Dude, I didn't even know he was coming. Like he must have been wearing moccasins. Pokes his head right in the side of my blind, dude. Hey,
I'd have punched him right in the nose.
he goes.
Get
Is anybody else out here? Because we want to hunt out here.
the
I'm
fuck
like,
out of my blind.
Yeah, there's a guy over there and a guy over there, which was the guy over there. So they leave. But yeah, me and him are texting back and forth. This is a funny ass story. I still laugh about it.
I'm so fucking, I don't even believe it.
And
to this-
you know, he texts me and goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna get down." I said, "All right, I'll start packing up." And he goes, "Nope, it's gonna take me a half hour to get to you, so just sit tight." No sooner he sends that, I set my phone down. I look up. Oh, look at that deer! Boom!
Like, I'm literally sitting in my tree, I send that text, and I don't wear my bino harness on me. I hang it from my gear hanger on my tree. I put my phone in my bino harness. Boom! I turn over, I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I grab my phone, got one. What the fuck? Walk over, he's like, yep, I got one. I'm like, I fucking figured, because you're the only other fucking person out here. We walk over there, sure as fuck, he got one. Well, you gotta be shitting me. But it come in by itself. And that time was the guilty time. It was the button buck.
Alright, so I want to go back to that Wisconsin thing you were talking about, because I looked up some stats from it. So, from what I read, it worked in certain counties, but not in other counties. So now what they do is there's a lot of counties in Wisconsin that do doe only all season now, and it just rotates.
That would be...
Which would piss me off.
That would be fucking wild.
So now each county has a council that looks at their management every year and says, okay, this year our county's got to be doe only.
Oh,
that
that
way we
would
just
piss
increase
me
the doe.
right the fuck
So
off.
it worked, but not as well as they thought, and now it's just like your county has too much.
You guys
does.
all got to remember something, though. When's the last time you made horn soup?
All right.
How's it
But
taste?
hold
bought
up,
the
hold
skull a
up.
couple months ago.
Let
Does that
me
count?
let me put the scenario out for you. And guys like me and you, it doesn't matter because me and you aren't looking at the antlers. But we'll talk to
I
their.
only shoot deer to get them
We'll,
the hell
exactly.
out of my way.
We'll
so I
talk
can
to
kill ducks.
we'll talk to their direction, to
You're
their
not lying
people.
there.
You guys are in a county that's doe only, and you all of a sudden you've got a deer of a lifetime standing in front of you, and you're like, oh shit. The amount of effort inside of you that takes to be like, I can't shoot that son of a bitch. I'd be a little angry, just a little. I'd be like, oh, that's really fucking sucks.
See, you want to know how I know I wouldn't be angry? You asked Justin how many bucks I pass a year.
Ow.
What?
Yeah, but that's because you have the choice to pass them.
I don't have a choice. I hunt state land, bro.
Well, right, but what I want to know is, do you have an issue in those counties with? So let's say you're doe only for 2 or 3 years straight.
I'm cool
Now,
with that.
the 4th year where you're not doe only, do you have an issue with everyone just shooting whatever buck they see?
My question is though, how many bucks are you losing to, like, if you have to pass the buck because you can't shoot it? What's the odds it gets hit by a car?
In Michigan? Damn good.
High.
You ain't lying.
So my question is like, if you took the statistics and they actually looked at it, this council, whatever, and they looked at the statistics of what's going on, how much of a difference are you really making being doe only comparatively? Because cars and poachers and whatever else you want to add into there, coyotes with big bucks is not really a problem, but just a lot of other things.
I think it's important to make sure, and I haven't read enough on the Wisconsin thing to know how they look at it, but like, I'm fine with the DNR regulating what we can kill as long as it's for population, health, and control, not trophy control.
Well, right
There's
now,
no reason they should regulate how many bucks I can kill to regulate how many trophies I have. But they can do it to make sure we still have a healthy deer population.
I wondered why you got so quiet over there. I'm kind of surprised you can read.
Wow.
like, so right now it's not. I don't think it's on a ballot or anything, but there was a thing that went around. You know how many people were in favor of like the $1 state.
I'm all for a $1 state. I'm not for telling me I got to shoot an 8-pointer better.
See, so I think they should go to a $1 state and leave it just
Wide open.
$1 state. I don't care if they throw it $1, like leave the APR off it.
No, I'm fine with that.
I'm good with that,
I'd
too.
like that more than what we have now. Which is
I
just
would
open
agree.
season.
I would agree.
I feel right now, if we leave it at $2, I think there should be an APR on it. That's only for certain people, though.
And I
But
would
there
agree with
is
you
at
on
your
that.
second buck. You can
It
only
depends
shoot.
where you're at. You can shoot 2 spikes in certain areas.
But most
Yeah, but
counties, I
that's
think
only
it's-
where they just
Now,
let you kill
now you
anything
can
that walks.
get you can get multiple doe tags no matter where you're at, right?
you can get 11, right?
Because now, so
10.
and across the whole state, which
this is
I think that needs to.
this might come off.
back
The UP's not like that, though.
No, the UP's different.
This might come off bad, but I kind of believe that if you're, it depends on what land you're on. I kind of think a private land guy maybe might know his herd more than a state land guy, and you guys hunt state land more than I do, so maybe
Yeah,
I'm
but you gotta
wrong.
remember, those deer move.
They do move. So I just thought maybe it should be regulated, though, more consistently. Like, not everybody gets the same amount of doe tags.
I feel it should go back to the way it used to be, and it was county specific. Back, I don't know how many years now ago that was, but it used to be county specific. Where I remember growing up, you had to apply for a fucking doe tag, and you could never fucking get one.
Yeah, yep. I remember that, too.
And now everybody gets 10 of them.
Yeah, but see, the problem is you know it and I know it too, is the problem in Michigan is the insurance companies are pushing for this because of all the car deer accidents.
Yeah.
That too, but there's also, like, I hate to bash on the older generation, but there is a lot of old timers,
That won't shoot a doe.
that will not shoot doe.
And they think you're scum for doing it.
yeah,
Right. Now,
which is ass backwards, asinine.
the only reason I don't like the county specific is because I think it work in places up here, but down in our area, all of your prime hunting land is pretty much in one area. Like for our tri-county area of Jackson, Hillsdale, Lenawee, you know, the top of the county nobody's hunting because it's all city. So all your deer are in that small triangle of the tri-county area. You can't say, like my dad's property on Somerset, you can't say that deer's not crossing the line every day.
But it's so different because they have their state land compared to our state land is tremendously
That's
different.
what I'm saying, but it wouldn't work in our area because my hunting property on
True.
vineyards on all 3 counties.
Yeah, no, you don't know
Every
what.
deer's touching
Well,
all 3
it's
counties every
it's a
day.
little easier for the county or for your position to know what kind of deer's in your area
Right.
than for ours.
Right.
Which I do agree with that because you're dealing with much different property and then it's owned by a lot of different
The
people.
buck I shot and missed, I watched him run to 2 other counties because it's 200 yards to get to those 2 other counties.
I agree, and we're not hunting nearly as big as state land. Their state land out here is the size of our whole county. You know, like
There's 10,000 acres across the street.
Exactly.
And if you drive 20 to 30 minutes that way, you're into 90, 100,000 acres.
exactly. And the more north you go, the more it gets.
Right. So
know.
I think lower half of the state it might not work.
Yeah.
But once you hit,
If you look at
Lansing
the
off.
DNR map, as soon as you hit just below the bay on up, the farther north you go, the more green
Right.
blobs there are for state land. If you're below the Saginaw Bay, though, if you notice, there's about 2 green blobs, and they're not that big.
but
Then you got what? Over there, you got Maple River,
Gratiot, Saginaw County.
Gratiot, Shiawassee, and then fuck.
Well, and that's the
Why?
funny part is I literally sent these guys out here this year. We duck hunted.
Oh, yonder.
Yeah, I sent them over yonder there, and you guys seen?
We saw lots of
we
deer.
saw lots of deer.
We saw,
yeah.
what, 10 deer?
They just weren't shootable.
Well, they just weren't in a position. I could have
They
flung
weren't
it.
ethically
Now,
shootable.
what you
I
say
coulda
not
flung an
shootable?
arrow.
What do you mean? Not
There was
shootable?
one that he could have brisket shot with a crossbow.
Yeah, and it was
Oh.
it was one of the really big 6 points that I told them was there.
But other than that, it was like we're talking 150 yards away deer. Like,
Yeah, they just didn't want to
And
get
this
close.
was- this was
They didn't want to get
crossbow.
close to us. Yeah, it was
This
a crossbow.
was
If it was a gun,
Oh,
I'm
he could've shot
100% blowing him to smithereens. But I had the opticals on and waiting for him to turn, but he just wouldn't do it. He'd run up on us and then he saw us and he was like just sitting there. He didn't know what we were.
when they're
but
looking back and
he
forth, trying to figure
wouldn't.
out.
He wouldn't turn, and then by the time he did turn, he's running, and I'm like, I got a bow and arrow. It's not really.
Well, no,
worth-
if it was gun season, we could have filled all 4 of our tags.
Oh, 100%, because
But
there
that's
was
what I'm
deer
saying.
there all day.
In this area, people so dog this area, and I'm not going to say exactly where you guys were, even though we kind of did. But, you know,
Most of our listeners are out of state.
there's so many deer.
Out of country, actually.
There's so many deer out there that
Shout out to China.
it's just crazy. I
Oh
mean,
yeah. Now I want to go back. I didn't quite understand what you said about the 10 doe tags. What do you want that to be?
I want it to go back to county specific. Back long time ago, it was regulated how many doe tags you got
Right.
by county. Like,
Now,
I
is
don't-
that because you think people are killing too many does, or not enough?
Well, it's in the underpopulated areas, is what he's talking
Yeah.
about.
Okay.
So, like, where we're at right now, like I said, me and Justin, we could go out, we could shoot 40 does a piece, and it would do nothing.
Right. Okay.
But there's certain areas where it's 10 doe tags still, and people will take full advantage of that, and then they completely decimate the whole population for 3 to 5 years. Just because they can't sustain that.
Right.
They say a single deer, I think, what is it, 3 tons of food a year is what a single deer eats.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of places that can't sustain that or grow that much food. So I don't think every county should be shooting. I don't think they should be handing out 10 doe tags a piece.
If I shot
every
10
county.
does off my property, I wouldn't see deer for forever.
Oh no, I can never do it where I'm at.
No, and that's the key and that's where he's getting at. That's the key difference between depending on where you're at in your state.
Okay, so I think you run into issues there though still with, like, Adrian and where I hunt is still Lenawee County.
Yeah.
But in my area, if you take 10 deer off, it's done for 3 years. But if you go to Adrian and take 10 deer, it's not going to touch anything. So limiting Adrian is going to really hurt.
But I think that's just meeting in the middle. That's being like, all right, do we need to take 10? No. But can we take 5? Maybe.
You know, but that's the other problem is, I mean, I kill a lot of deer, but I shoot, 3 to 5 a year?
Yeah.
You know, but there's guys that because they can get 10 doe tags, plus their 2 buck tags, they're going to fill all 12. And these are the same guys that you walk in their barn, and they have 5 deep freezers, and you go on that end one, and there's venison that's 7 years old. That gets thrown in a dumpster.
And those are also, not to bring this up again, but those are also the same guys that say, well, you know, we can't shoot big bucks. And then every year they shoot spikes and 4 points.
This is true.
I hate to be that guy, but you could if you just let that deer go another year or 2.
And I do. You know that as well as I
yeah.
do. I'll shoot a doe before I shoot a small buck.
This last year was the first buck I shot in 11 years. That was not...
And I saw some videos of the ones you passed up. It's not like you were passing up small deer.
And I mean, I pass up deer, and finally this year I was like, you know, last year I was going to shoot a fucking 6-point for my kids. They said, Dad, shoot the buck. I'm like, fuck. Like, I already passed a 120 out here, like, because I seen like a 140, 145 ish out there. My kids like, Dad, just shoot the buck. I'm like, all right, you know what? That 6 point's been walking by me every day. My kids want me to shoot a buck. Fuck it. All hats are off. I'm shooting the buck. And then I never seen him again.
I mean, like, I can say this year I passed up on a couple 8s and 6s because I knew I had a 10 and a 12. And I can tell you going into next year, that ain't going to happen.
Well, so
My freezer is barren right
I say
now.
where I hunt, it's 36 acres or 39 acres. It's almost 40 acres. But I know on both sides of me, it is as brown as down. It is, if it's walking, it's dead. And so I've had many a times where I have let deer go, and I'm like, that is going to be a quality buck. And within 2 hours, I get a picture of them holding that buck.
Yep.
And it's like, it gets to the point where it's like, if you have the ability to walk the deer and you can convince your neighbors, or you don't have to have the neighbors to all be on the same game plan, it's great. But when you have a bunch of assholes around you that don't give a shit what you're doing, if they're going to run it through, it's kind of just like you got to do what you got to do.
See, that's like, so a property that I hunt over in like New Lothrop area, we have it in a co-op. So we have, probably 100 properties involved in our co-op. Mm-hmm. We are all pretty much on the same page. It's got to be at least 8. We don't go by spread, none of that shit. 8 points or better.
But that's contradicting yourself.
How's that?
Because if all you say is 8 and better, you can have a 1.5 old 12-point inside spread.
Yes, it
8
happens.
point, so you're still shooting the same deer that the next guy shoots. It's a 4 or 6.
Yeah.
So
I didn't set the rules.
Where does that make sense, though? That's my problem with this whole deer management bullshit.
You're almost taking better genetics off the herd.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to realize.
Not almost, you are.
You got to realize that the buck does
I'm
not.
impartial
buck,
host.
bucks do not determine the genetics. It's the doe that determines the genetics in a buck.
All right, let's go back to duck hunting. I'm done talking deer.
Well, hold on. I got to say something now. Because
I'm with you. I want to go back to duck.
if we're talking scientifically, most of your rack size isn't actually based on genetics. It's based off the feed that's available to the doe when she's pregnant.
That is very true.
Yep.
So technically, if you want to argue for better antler management, you want to be arguing for better crop management. You want the DNR to have money to pay farmers to leave their corn up through December.
Yep.
That's what you should be advocating for.
But
Now, I say that as somebody who just advocated on your side for the past 30 minutes. But
no, that's fine. But as the way it stands right now, I'm just going to keep, like, no matter which way this ball falls, whoever's court it falls in, I'm just going to keep doing what I've always done.
Hey, we're always going to stay on the legal side of things.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
do
hunt,
what's legal
I'm
and
gonna hunt my hunt.
Yeah, hunt your
I'm
hunt
gonna
and do what
pursue-
you believe is ethical.
I'm going to pursue what I want to pursue.
Exactly.
You can pursue what you want to. Like, if you shoot a spike, I'm not going to bash you because you shot a spike. Like, cool, you shot a spike. I think it's old school. I will walk up, drink a beer with you, give you a high five, we'll have a fucking party, and that's cool.
I am all for, if it falls underneath of the rules of the law, you can do what you want. Because we've talked about this before. Crossbow hunters. Well, we're getting into it now.
I'm here.
Yeah. So we talk about this all the time because crossbow hunters, there's a lot of guys, and I don't know how you feel about this, But I have a certain feeling about it. There's a lot of guys that if you watch
They use cross guns.
crossbows, yeah.
Cross guns.
If you're
Shut your mouth.
if you're sitting there and
you.
I've seen it on YouTube and I've seen it on TikTok, and they believe that crossbows should not be in the bow season. I might be able to get down with you on a special season, but I don't believe on taking them out of the season entirely because they're like, it's unfair. And I'm like, well, technically your compound's better than a traditional, so should your season be taken out as well? Because you have a sight. You're not.
You just cocked the red man's hair. This is
No. I will stand with him.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
So
You just hit his nerve there with him.
pisses me off that people sit on the hill and they're
good
like,
nerve,
and
but-
they're like, well, I'm shooting a crossbow, you're shooting a compound, or the other way around, and it's just like, if let the guy shoot what he wants to shoot. If he can shoot a crossbow, it's just as ethical as your compound. And the guy shooting the traditional, you don't see him sitting on the damn hill telling you, well, you have a fucking sight and a release, so you shouldn't have a season. Like,
No, I will stand with you behind this 100%. I used to be the cocky prick that used to say, hey, fucking crossbows, them guys are gay.
That's all I'll shoot anymore. I'll never go back to a compound.
now, I love compounds.
that.
I love compounds, but I'm not
feel-
willing to take it away from the guys who don't have the time or the resources or the place to shoot their compound.
You are somebody who has a nicer compound bow than probably 80% of the hunter population, and you still used your crossbow last.
I did because I live at a home where I can't practice my compound, and I know
Exactly.
as an ethical hunter, if I can't practice shooting my compound bow, I shouldn't shoot it because I'm not going to shoot that deer ethically. So I grabbed my crossbow.
At 100%.
I grabbed my crossbow knowing I'm like, I haven't practiced enough this year, so the crossbow is what's coming out because the compound. I live in the city. I'm like, I can't practice.
Do you at least shoot the crossbow at least once or twice to make sure it's still...
Oh, of course, I still practice with the crossbow.
I'm good then.
But if I haven't gone out with that, I used to shoot competitions. I was a competitive shooter, and I was actually like semi-pro for a little bit, shooting compound bow. And so
Semi-pro.
I was. I did.
wow.
I won a couple
I didn't
tournaments.
know this.
Did
So
they make that short axle?
Hey, his axle was 23-inch.
So I love shooting compounds. I'm a huge advocate of going out and shooting, but I moved and I didn't have the time. I got a new job, we did a lot of things. I didn't have the time to shoot my compound, so I grabbed the crossbow knowing I cannot hit a deer where I need to hit a deer this year with my compound.
See, the way I look at it, I'm sorry to cut
No,
you
you're
off,
fine.
but as we all know, I'm sure everybody here would agree with this, hunting is a dying breed. It's a dying sport.
Mm-hmm.
We're dropping numbers all the time.
Except for duck hunting.
I think it's dropping.
No.
I
think
do-
the past 2 or 3 years, it's rose.
I do think it's
Ever
rising.
Since COVID, it's rose.
I think it's rising because it is
Everything
gaining.
since COVID.
It's
seems to
gaining
have
popularity.
risen a little
But I'm with you. I see where you're going with that because my dad makes this point every time I bring it up. He's like, "There's not enough of us to fight each other. It is what it is. You need to stand on the hill together because eventually it's going to come the day when the vote comes, and it's like if we're not together, we're going to lose."
Yeah, like I think it's a dying thing. I think it's a dying breed. Why fight with somebody? We're all in it for the same thing. We're all here to have a good time, put meat in our freezer, and
Live a more
all get
traditional
along.
life.
Yeah.
So if you can do it more ethically with the crossbow, let's say you can't shoot a compound. Well, fucking use a crossbow. I don't give a shit. I used to give a shit. Now I don't really fucking care.
No, whatever gets you there
If that
gets you there.
If that gets you in the woods, I don't care if you go to Walmart and buy the cheapest shit to get you into the woods. If it gets you out there and gets you away from the day-to-day grind and it gets you in your happy place, then fucking more power to you.
Absolutely.
Get out there, do it. But I really wish like Raven crossbows would quit saying they got their sub MOA accuracy at a fucking 100 yards.
I agree with that 100%.
Well, there is restrictions that I would agree with. Okay, so like I know right now, what are we at? Like 400 feet per second for a crossbow?
Too fucking
Something
fast.
crazy, something really fast.
They're over
A
500,
compound, if you're shooting your normal arrow, you're shooting about 280 feet per second.
Yeah, I'd agree with that because I think I'm right. I'm like 290.
Yeah.
See, I totally disagree with restricting the crossbow feet per second to restrict the length of your shot. Because if you're going to do that, to me, you should separate shotgun and rifle season too. Because I can only shoot 100 yards with a 12 gauge, but somebody with a rifle can shoot 300.
I mean,
So if you're going to restrict it.
Well, to be fair, we can't shoot. We can only shoot what, center gauge rifles
All
or
I'm
whatever.
saying is I don't.
Centerfire, yeah.
Centerfire
Yeah,
rifles.
but still, you can get 250 yards. And
I shot a 12 gauge. I killed a deer at 130 yards.
Right, but you're not getting the rifle range on it. Is what I'm saying. So if you're going to nitpick the crossbow to compound and then the length of your shot for the crossbow, restrict what rifles you can use.
All I'm saying is...
There's still a point to that.
I'm saying you should not be taking a 100-yard shot on a deer with a crossbow. Is what I'm saying.
I'm with you. It's not a ballistic. It's still an arrow.
Let's say you're shooting.
But if people can do it accurately and ethically, why shouldn't they?
But they can do it.
But is it ethically? My question is, do you
do it? Yes.
No, hold on.
You don't know that. But that's what I'm saying. At 100 yards, what's tested? What's proven theory? At 100 yards, you're going to kill that deer.
You're relying on the hunter's ethics.
No. You're not.
Nobody has ethics.
That's not true.
No. It's kinetic energy.
You're relying on you shooting at a target at 100 yards.
You know you can hit it. That doesn't mean it's going to penetrate enough or do damage enough to kill that deer.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that every crossbow you could do it with, but I'm saying those top of the line crossbows, and I'd have to look at the numbers.
That's what I'm saying. Who's done that? Who's done that at that statistic?
Well, you guys keep going, and I'll look it up. Damn it!
But you're not going to be able to look it up.
No, we're going back to duck hunting.
We've been 2 hours in this podcast, and we haven't even touched duck hunting.
So you can shoot 100 yards, 150 yards, whatever it is, all day long in your backyard with a crossbow. That's at a standing still target. Do you know how much can happen in 100 yards shooting a crossbow bolt that travels? So it comes out, let's say, 380 to 500 feet per second. It gets slower by the time it gets there. It drops a lot. Whereas you're shooting a gun that's traveling, 1,200 to 3,200 feet per second, give or take whichever weapon you're using. There's a lot that can happen.
I'm with you on that one. But he, like he said, it all comes down to the ethics of a hunter. And if I'm being truthfully honest, I don't believe a lot of people have good ethics. But that's
80 to 90% of the hunting population have good ethics when it comes to hunting.
Yeah, but that leaves 10% shooting at 100 yards. That's a bad number.
And those 10% aren't going to follow your rules anyways.
I don't know if I'd even go 80 or 90% when it comes to that. I mean, you guys have hunted the managed areas enough with me.
Yeah.
When only 50% of hunters kill a deer every year, that tells me at least 50% are ethical enough to not do it legally.
Well, my question is, though, is out of that percentage, how many of them don't even go? How many of them buy a tag and don't even go?
Which is fine. Support my passion.
No, that's true. I'm saying, yeah, buy the tag. That's fine by me, but I'm saying out of that they don't know.
I'm just saying I think we should keep all shots, archery shots, within 60 yards.
60 yards is, yeah. That's where I'm leaning out.
No, I will shoot my compound 100 yards. I won't shoot a deer at 100 yards with my compound.
No, because I'm not believing that is an ethical shot.
But I can shoot 100 yards accurately.
Yes.
No, see, this is what I'm saying, though. I will shoot 100 yards. I'll shoot 110, actually, with my compound accurately.
There's a difference.
I can do the same thing with a crossbow.
There's a difference between shooting competition and shooting an animal, though. That animal has a life, 100%. And at 100 yards, I'm in the firm belief that it's like, at 100 yards, it is not worth it.
No, it's not.
No. Because I might injure that deer, or I might not kill that deer.
And I think that's totally fine.
You've shot deer and wounded them, correct? Have you?
Yeah, of course.
Does your gut... Do you want to throw up?
Course.
Exactly. So that's where I do not think...
I personally will not take a crossbow shot over 50 yards.
Now,
but I believe I could at 70 if I wanted to, because I know how accurately I could... And how far the arrow still goes into my crossbow.
Well, you have to knock the arrow correctly.
You gotta knock the arrow and not get it caught on a brush and have it come out.
Oh, there's a story behind this. I need to hear it.
You need to watch the video. You don't.
Ooh, there's a video behind it. Yeah.
Fuck all of you guys.
Yeah, that hasn't made it out to the public yet.
So the story goes. All right. So I'm sitting on the ground against a tree. Okay, I'm not in a tree stand. And
show him the video.
I've just got a stick blind, okay?
Yeah. Let me see it.
Built up to about yay high on my stick blind.
I got a piss, too.
And we can take a break to pee here in a sec. But, so I just got up to pee, actually. So my crossbow was sitting up against my stick blind, all right? And,
look at this booner.
It's a good one?
Oh, it's a trophy buck.
Oh, this is going to be great.
So I'm sitting there, and I sit back down, and I'm just looking around, you know, I just got up, like, I'm not expecting to see a deer right away, and I'm looking around, and I hear something, I'm like, oh, there's some deer over there, and it's where most of my deers come from. It's straight ahead of me, like, he's gonna come walking dead on, and I know it, and, he comes around the corner, and I just see one side of his rack poke through the trees, and I'm like, okay, So he's coming dead at me. So as he turned to go around a tree, I grab my crossbow and I just shoulder it, and I'm just kind of relaxing. He's probably 100 yards at this point, but he's trotting on the move, like he's on his way dead at me. And I shoulder it, not thinking about the fact that it was sitting up against my stick blind or anything, and he stops from me to that doorway. It is a 9-yard shot.
I'm about to say, that's pretty close, bud.
It's a 9-yard shot.
Pretty close.
It was very close as an understatement.
Oh, you need to find this video.
Oh, I'm looking for it. I know I got it. And so he's sitting at about 9 yards, and I shoot, and you can hear it, you can see the arrow comes out sideways, pointing like this, and I miss a trophy buck at less than 9 yards. And when I review the video and everything, when I had pulled the crossbow up from the stick blind, it had gotten snagged on an arrow. So it wasn't sitting right in the knock on your crossbow where your arrow sits. It wasn't sitting straight, so it came out totally sideways, and I missed a trophy buck because of it. And it was the most heartbreaking thing I have certainly ever had
I've
happen
been
to me.
there. I was fortunate and lucky this year, is what I was.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. That's for sure.
You find that while I'm draining my baby snake.
All right.
Thank you for listening to Locked On Sounds podcast. We want to take a moment to thank one of our most important sponsors, Migra Ammunitions. The Migra stacked load is engineered using their patented technology, which gives Migra shells consistent bulk density and pattern uniformity, while maximizing versatility in the field. Based out of South Carolina, Migra Ammunitions is at the forefront of shotgun shell innovation. Drawing from proprietary technology from the defense sector, Migra Ammunitions manufactures shotgun shells with quality and value in mind. Built out of passion by its founders, Migra shells are oriented towards the passionate waterfowlers. Now back to your favorite podcast.
Having fun?
Yep. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, fuck you. Wait till he stands right in front of you and looks broadside.
Dude, that's like a... Well, let me see. Dude, that's like a 135, 140-inch deer.
And it's at point blank when he shoots.
Dude, that is a fuck... Look at that one brow tine, though. That one's fucked up, but I mean...
want to hear his reaction now.
You already got it. You're a fucking idiot. Oh!
There it is.
You see that fucker come out like this?
It comes out totally
Go back.
sideways.
Go back. Fuck you. How do I go backwards?
You just pull right here.
I don't know. This is an iPhone. I don't know this
I
shit.
think so. Hold on. There we go. Like that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
for everybody that doesn't know, I'm going to put Willie on blast. He missed probably a 140-inch whitetail at 9 yards.
With a crossbow. With a crossbow.
This is the best video I've ever seen. Blooper style.
And the worst part is if he'd had a compound,
Look at
he more than likely has a Q&A or whatever sitting there rest that's holding that arrow in. He picks
But
it up and gets it caught on brush.
I'm gonna give him this.
He missed instead of wounding it.
That, and on the bright side, next year,
That deer's going to be massive.
because that, if you go back and look, how do I go back
Just
on this
scroll
thing this way?
like this way.
This deer's not that old.
If you just
Oh.
go back. Oh.
Hit there. This deer's not that old.
That's got to be at least a 3.5-year-old buck.
Yeah, he is. I'll give him 3.5. But next year he's gonna blow right up.
He's going to be massive.
Like
Derek.
he could potentially put on anywhere from 15 to 60 inches.
Now I'm gonna give the viewers some discretion here. There's a guy named Derek that hunts right. Their family owns property.
Look at he's got no sway back. Nothing. Oh,
There's a
that
family
hurts.
that
That
owns
hurts.
a assload of acreage behind this woods, all right? And every year, this kid that we went to school with, his name's Derek, he kills, I kid you not, a 140 plus every fucking year, if not two of them.
Hats off
And
to that guy.
he smashes them. So when Willie gets back here, I want you to ask him if Derek's going to shoot his buck next year, because he's going to fucking go off, because that's exactly what's going to happen. The opening...
Here it comes. I got this. Hey, Willie.
What's
Is
it?
Derek gonna shoot your buck next year?
Fuck you. Fuck you there.
Oh, you didn't use his last name. I just had his first name.
All right, so we're going back to duck hunting.
All right, we are. Nay, we all
Good video though. I like it.
we all took a
I
pee.
feel for you.
It's tough.
We all took a pee. Now, so we're gonna get off the duck hunting train and the fishing train, and finally get to where we
deer
wanted to
hunting
go.
train.
Get off the
We're
deer.
going
Oh, son of a I'm 4 beers deep and I'm light. So we're gonna get on the duck hunting train. All right. Should we start with the haters or we end with the haters?
Oh,
I don't give a damn.
I say you end. Oh, I don't know.
I see.
End with.
Let's just get it out of the way right now.
Fine, we're gonna start with the haters. Fuck all you that don't like hunting on a standing corn, because that's
Flooded
what we do.
corn.
Flooded corn is where it's at, and Justin Dixon's gonna tell you why.
So, for any of you guys that are going to sit back behind your keyboard and
Edit none of this.
say that you don't have to scout flooded corn.
Liars.
So, if it's a private piece that you own, I'll 100% agree with you. To hunt the state land managed waterfowl areas, you couldn't be more from wrong. I can almost spit on the state game area, and I put a lot of time and effort into having successful hunts, and there is not anybody that just comes out here besides maybe a handful that just get lucky and look at what everybody has chosen the prior hunt, that come out here and doesn't know the area, hasn't scouted it, to go out and absolutely smash birds. I mean, that is the most ignorant statement I've ever heard in my life.
And they won't, because how many friends do you have come up to you, Willie? Because I have a lot. They come up and they are like, "Oh, I see you guys are smashing birds." Well,
I'm gonna go up to the.
I said, "We're doing good." And we can cut that out. We don't need to tell people. And cut my beginning part out too. So we're sitting there, and I always tell them, I'm like, "Good luck." And they're like, "What do you mean? You guys are killing the hell out of them." I said, "Yeah, but you have to understand, there's 60 parties, and out of those 60 parties, only 5 parties had a good day, and I was one of those parties, and that's just so happens." And I said, and I couldn't do it, and Willie couldn't do it. The only reason it happens is because we have a buddy that can do it, that lives there and knows what he's doing and understands how it works. And I said, first of all, you don't have a boat that can do it. You're not picking it up. You're not crossing dikes. It ain't happening. You don't have the knowledge. And you don't have the whereabouts to know where you're going. And I tell you what, I've been back there a bajillion times. I still can't tell you the map on how to get to certain places.
Nope.
So you have all these contributing factors, and people think, "Oh, you're killing ducks, so I can get in there. I'm going to head up there and go kill ducks." I've talked to lots of guys that said they went up here once. They said, "I'll never hunt that place again. That place is junk." And I said, "You just don't know how to hunt it." You have to understand how to hunt it and know where you're going before you can do anything. Yeah, if you just show up and guess what? You're not going to have a great day.
It is 10 times harder to hunt back home where we're at than it is to go up to the flooded corn and hunt there.
If you know what you're doing.
No, for the average person who doesn't know what they're doing.
No, you just said that backwards.
Yeah, no.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
No, I'm in disagreement.
No, the hunt is easier down at home.
Oh, yeah, you said it backwards. Yeah, no, the hunt is easier at home. For all the guys saying the corn's unfair, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's unfair. No, it's not. There is not 150 zones having 100% success, because it ain't gonna happen. The ducks still want to be where they want to be, and you got to know it, and you got to know how to set it up. You still have to call. You got to call your shot. You got to make sure you're not shooting sky high, and hopefully you're not around a bunch of idiots. There's a lot of luck that plays into it, and a lot of knowledge that plays into it. You're not going to just show up and shoot ducks.
There's a lot of sky busting goes on out here.
Well, I'm going to tell you, the first case, to do this properly, you're going to have, what's reasonable, $7,000 to $10,000 into your boat?
Ooh, that might not even be reasonable. It might be more than that.
No, is
that reasonable?
You can go buy a 1436 to a 1542 tracker for under $2,000. You throw runners on it, there's another $14-ish $100.
How much is one of your motors?
Oh, yeah,
a mud motor, if you buy a new one, you're looking $3,000.
Well, okay, so I'll preface that too. If you're going to show up out here, you can show up with an outboard. You can show up with a normal outboard. Do it.
Hey,
I dare you.
I
dare you. But I will be towing you home with Captain Justin Dixon, and I will be laughing the whole way, because you don't know where the stumps are. You don't know where the mud is. You don't know where the rocks are. And when you find one of those, you're going to have to give somebody a call. And it just so happens, guess what? If you don't have Justin Dixon's number, he's on the fire department. He'll hear about it anyways, and we'll probably come get you anyways.
Well, I will say this. There is a lot of old school boys out here that will run.
That know the area.
They know the area. You're not just and you know what? We have a great story. The final day of hunting. It wasn't this hunting season, the last year. We're sitting there. There's maybe 5 parties. These 2 guys walk in. I've never seen them before. I'm not from here, but I've hunted up here enough. I understand. I know they haven't been here before. They take a spot. They pick a spot. Then I hear them say, Well, I wonder how far of a walk that is. I turned around and I looked at them and I said, "You're walking in?" And they were like, "Yeah, we're going to walk in. That's no big deal, right?" That is about 3 miles, gentlemen. You're not walking in, and it is negative degrees, there's snow, and there's ice. I don't know what you're doing. Justin then hears us talking to them, and he says, "Who's walking in?" We said, "These 2 guys." And he's like, "No, you're not. You're not going to walk in there. If you try to walk in there, there's time differences out here. You have to shoot from a certain time to a certain time." He's like, "You're going to get there about the time you need to leave." So, luckily enough, everything worked out. I don't even know if they ended up hunting, but they did get to pick a new spot. But
I'm guessing they didn't go hunting because the one guy of the party didn't even want to go anymore.
no, he was like, "Never mind, fuck this. This is stupid." It's not you. When you show up, people are so out of touch with how it works that they think they can just walk. No, it clearly reads on the board. You gotta go.
Yeah.
Well, that and people don't understand what pulling dikes mean. You know, people look at, okay, there's a little hill.
It ain't a little hill.
I mean, we run Lewis chainsaw winches with steel chainsaws on them.
If you have 2 or 3 strapping men that can pick up however much a boat weighs. So Willie, we have a small boat. What's our boat weigh?
Our boat with the gear in it is probably near 1,000 pounds.
Exactly. So you need to be able to walk up a 90 degree vertical in the mud, and it's cold, but it's muddy as hell.
Oh, that's only if it ain't frozen.
And it's ice, and it's rocky, and you need to be able to walk your gear and your boat over it, then get on the flat top and then walk down it without being run over by your boat. If you can
hope your boat doesn't slide into the pole.
Hope your boat doesn't slide into the pole.
For at least half the season, we couldn't even walk a kayak over those dikes.
No, it isn't going to happen. And so when guys show up and they just hear about it and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to go there and just slay." I work with a guy, my boss, he kills a lot of ducks and they have a lot of money. And they 100% are like, "Oh, we're killing ducks." He told me, he said, "I've been up there twice. I won't go back." He's like, "I've went up there twice." Because when he asked me where I hunt, I told him, he was like, "You kill ducks there?" I said, You can go on my social media. Yeah, I killed ducks there. And he's like, "I've been there twice and it's been a shit show both times." And I was like, "That's because you don't know what you're doing." And I said, "I won't go there alone. I won't do it. It's not going to happen. You got to have somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing. Or else you're not going to, it's not easy. It's not like you're showing up and there's just ducks in your face and you're killing them. It doesn't work that way."
Well, another big problem is, I know Justin has seen this quite a bit, and maybe you guys have seen this. Guys come with boats that are just, we'll say, not the right size.
No, they're not.
Like, you can't show up here with a 1760 thinking everything's hunky-dory and you're just going to have a great
Oh, you can
day.
hunt the river blinds, but that's all you're doing.
Last year,
or the woods.
Last year, me and Frederico went into the 50s. I think it was wherever we went.
Why the fuck did you guys go in there?
It might have been the 40s. I don't remember. Well, whatever. And
50s is... No, I'm not going to say the name, but yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't the 50s. It was not. So it must have been the 30s or
I
the
took
40s.
these guys there one morning when we were going to hunt the afternoon anyways, and we do like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took them in there, and I'm like, "This is why we never come here." It gets daylight, and they're like,
Oh.
"This is horrible."
I've done good there. I mean, I'll say
Well,
that.
you can early season.
Oh,
That's
there
when
was
the
some
birds are
guys there
I
pissing
shot
me
my
right
fir-
the
I
fuck
shot my
off.
first widgeon in there, and it was a fucking stud drake, and it's at the Dean's right now getting mounted. But
You
it was
shot that, what, 20 fucking years ago?
No, it was 2 years ago.
Oh, we're gonna get to taxidermy in a
Yeah,
little
we'll
bit.
get to our
Don't you worry about that.
It was last year. Me and Freddie went into. It was either the 30s or 40s. It wasn't the 50s. We pull up, and we're sitting there waiting, and there's this dude trying to pull the dike with like a fucking 1760 or an 18 whatever. What the fuck is this guy doing? That boat's way too big. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I do this all the time." And we went around the fucking dude.
I do it all the time.
They got stuck like 3/4 of the way up. And I don't know if something broke or what the fuck. They were stuck there. So we just fucking hooked up and pulled right the fuck past them. Went around them. See you later. Fucking have a nice day.
It's like the porridge. It's like the correct boat because you gotta have runners too. Because like Caleb's boat, a little bit smaller, doesn't have runners. We beat the fuck out of it to its death almost.
You can run her without
it's
running,
dead.
but you're gonna. Pay
Oh, it's
for it.
dead. Yeah, we broke ice. You were in Justin's boat, and I was in the front of Caleb's breaking ice. And by the time we got out of there, it was like that boat is fucking dead. You got to have the right equipment to get out here, and that's the best part about out here too. Is I love it when it freezes up because that means you're not getting nearly as many I'll call you idiots that all think you can show up to the corn and
I would
shoot whatever
say-
you want. Because
I would say 32 wide is as small as you want to go, and I would say 42 wide is as wide as you want
I
to
agree,
go.
because I run a 1542.
I give you advice
what I would
simply
look
so that you can show up against my advice and I can laugh. That's all I want.
Well,
Yeah.
what I really like to laugh at is people that show up with electric winches.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to pull over with this.
I'm going to pull over, and then they get, like, halfway down the other side, and their battery's dead. And then they're fucking
They're stuck.
dead in the water.
Yep. They're stuck.
They might get it, like, and they might go do their hump, but then they can't fucking get out.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, yeah, you should probably get rid of that Warren and just go spend the, I don't know, what is it, like $1,800 for a full
head up to Thurston's and get yourself a winch. Didn't they have some there for sale?
Oh, they got
always
Yeah,
do.
they had
always
it.
got,
They had 'em there
always
for
got the duck right stuff in there ready to go.
We'll have to
I think
block
it's
that
I
out
was gonna
too.
say, now I gotta block their name out.
No, you don't have to block their name out.
I think everyone would figure out where we're talking about.
I don't give a shit, dude.
People can show up. Like I said, you can show up and I can make fun of you.
As long as we're not talking deer hunting and we say this name, I'm
So
good to go.
so
Tyler Manning hunts.
so last year though we got this is how crazy this place is. It's a second. It's a Monday after opener. So everything opens up. You're able to go in and take the draw without winning the lottery or whatever you want to call it. But
Duck bingo.
Duck bingo, sure. Well, which we had one Sunday, and we had a great day. Monday we come out, we still had a great day Monday. I would call it a great day. We got bombarded. So
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Justin goes up to get the truck. All right, we're not from around here. We're nice guys. What happens? 10 guys surround your boat. Oh, I see you guys got ducks. Where are you going? Here's a great question. All right, you've already drawn your zone. You know where you're going. You can't change zones in the middle of it. So what the hell does it matter if you know what zone I was in? First of all, I'm not telling you. But secondly, you already know where you're going. You can't go where I went unless you drew where I went. So what do we say? We're not from around here.
I don't know where
I don't even know where I was at.
I was never so proud of you two sons of
You could
bitches.
GPS it and send me out there, and I still wouldn't know where I'm at. I'm lost. I don't even know what county this is, guys.
What them boys are doing is they'll go in the day after,
Yeah.
and if they get a better draw than you, if you give it up,
Oh, yeah.
they're gonna be
No.
Well, these boys were here, and if they get a better draw than you,
We
when
don't.
you're there, they're gonna go there.
And I'll tell you that too. It's like CIA operatives up here. Unless you're in on the in, unless you know people who know people who know people, you're not knowing shit.
No.
No one's gonna tell you.
That's all right.
No one's gonna tell
Don't
you
worry about it.
crap. In the morning, it's great. How many times have we woken up and Justin gets a phone call? Or after we get out of a hunt and Justin gets a phone call and there's sharing of information, but it's only between 5 guys. And those 5 guys are the guys that are killing birds.
Yeah.
Everybody else is sucking. And they're like, well, why can't we kill birds? And I'll tell you why, because you're not one of those 5 guys. That's why.
You have to have a network.
You're not part of the CIA. That's what's happening. You're not part of
I've
it.
been hunting this area. God, what the hell?
Well, you're old as dirt, so probably at least 30
Jesus.
years.
Oh, we're getting back to the age thing.
You can kiss my ass. Probably, honestly, between 25, 28 years. You know, and I didn't get really successful out here until probably 15 years in. And even then, it was spotty. Now, I got it dialed.
Well, you know what you're doing. And then even then, Justin is very realistic with us. When we show up and there's 60 parties and we draw 30 or 40 down the list, he looks at us and says,
Take a
he's like,
pass.
we're passing. We're passing, we're going home, we're going to sleep it off, and then we're going to start the party early. We're going to go to lunch, and then we're going to go out and redraw, and we'll see what we get. He's like, it's realism.
Well,
'Cause-
you do it that way every time. You don't take a pass sometimes, then pick a spot.
We have, and we've actually,
just curious.
we've
We
passed,
most of the time.
went to the back, picked a spot. He's like, this is gonna be shit. Went out there and shot fucking our limit and went, well that didn't work the way we thought it would.
Here's it is.
It's a beer.
We're gonna go get a burger.
A lot of the times, like when we hunt, we'll draw. Let's say we're not in the top 15. We'll take a pass. Then we'll pick a zone. We'll go in. We'll do all right.
Mm-hmm.
But that allows you to get in to the afternoon draw if you take the pass.
Yep.
So that's why we do
It
it.
depends. I mean, if there's 60, 70 parties and I draw 69th,
Which we did.
I'm going home.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we went there, we sat there, and we drew... Oh, our draws were so fucking bad this year when we showed up. It
We
was
had a lot
so
of bad
terrible.
draws.
We were bad luck. We came in, and we would draw almost dead last every time, and they, of course, would take, and everybody, once one guy throws a dart into the board, it doesn't matter whether he was correct or not. He might not even know where he's going.
Everybody's following
but everybody's
the whole
gonna
field,
fucking
fucking
throw the dart as close as they
Yep.
can to him. So... But that's also the boat thing. If you don't have the right boat, I love hunting with Justin. It makes me happy because most of these guys don't have the right boat. So when we get to ice time or we get to when it's really cold, they can't pull 2 dikes. They can't get back to where we need to be. And so it's amazing. You can draw down the pack, but everybody's not going where you're going. And then they look at you. That's my favorite stories. When you walk in there and you're talking to Justin and all of a sudden it's time to draw. And he's just, shut up. Hold on. You see the wheels spinning. Here it comes, and all of a sudden he throws it at the dart and he hits the board and he says, "All right, boys, let's walk out." As you're walking out, no one knows who you are, but they all know who Justin is, and they're like, "Why the fuck did he pick that spot?" And you can see everybody looking at him like, "God damn it, is he dumb or do I go near him? Because shit, that might be good, but he also might be stupid." And then there's 2 dweebos following him that are just like, "Ha, we're going to kill ducks, baby. This is going to be amazing." And it's just great to watch people's faces as they do it. And Justin loves it because we'll get out and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, so-and-so in there, he don't know what the fuck I was doing, but we're going to go kill ducks, baby."
It's because I live out here. I've lived out here 6 years, I think, longer than Justin has. I've known Justin for, too fucking long, it seems like. Long fucking time. We used to work together or whatever. But I've lived out here. I don't even duck hunt anymore. Hardly ever. I think I go 2, 3, maybe 4 times
Which we need to get into why. Why'd you pick deer hunting over duck hunting?
Don't go back into deer hunting.
No,
We're not going to it. That's where my heart is.
Okay.
My heart's deer and fishing.
All right, that makes
That's
sense.
my heart. Do I like to duck hunt? I fucking love to duck hunt. And now I'm going to end up getting more into it because my fucking kids like to do whatever the fuck I do. And wherever I go, my kids want to go.
Well,
So
you said you can't blow a duck call, but that don't mean your
can't.
kids can't learn to blow a duck call.
That's true.
So it sounds like we need some lanyards made up.
Trust me, I can guarantee you right now I can go out here during season. I can shoot a limit without blowing a duck call.
No, you can't, 'cause you can't hit him.
Wait a minute, hold on. So
I can have a chance at a limit.
We talked about Fred earlier, all right? And if Fred won't listen to this, but
He's going to because I'm going to tell him to.
so tell him to listen to this. But you have a great story of Fred not being able to hit him because he dropped his gun in the water.
Oh, the old froze up you?
Oh, yeah. So, Fred.
Straight Wallace.
We're gonna drop a last name,
He's a Benelli guy. Greatest gun in the world.
which you should. What are you? You're a Winchester.
I shoot an SX4.
An SX4.
Shot an SX3 for years until I wore that completely out. Now I'm on a 4.
I can't believe you wore it out, to be honest with you. I mean,
But anyways, so yeah, Fred's with us hunting.
Bradley.
It's me and Fred, and he decides to drop his gun off his gun stand. It's colder than shit out, so he pulls his gun up, goes click.
Taking a minute to thank another one of our favorite sponsors. The S-Series of top-down decoys have been an incredible inspiration to many in the waterfowl industry. Their patented reversible, lightweight, and cost-efficient decoy is an absolute game-changer to the avid goose hunter, especially one who values hunting gear made right here in the United States. Be sure to check out their website, topdowndecoys.com, to check out their one-of-a-kind decoys, along with their traditional silhouettes. Now back to your favorite podcast.
So anyways, Mr. Wallace drops this $2,000 Benelli in the water in sub-zero temperatures. Next flock of birds come in, guess what happens? Fred's Benelli is froze solid and will not go bang.
Boomstick won't go boom.
So I still needed 3 mallards, so I said, well, I guess you're going to have to wait for me to shoot my limit, and then I'll give you my gun. So I shot 2 Drake mallards, then a black duck. Then my 4th Drake mallard is banded. So his dog brings it back into the corn. We throw it in a pile, I hand him my gun. Fred then looks at me and says, fuck you. I'm like, what are you mad about, dude? I'm giving you my gun. Picks the duck up, throws it at me, it's banded. It was probably one of the funnest hunts I've ever had, just because he was so pissed off that he couldn't argue that he shot that duck.
Because that Benelli wouldn't go boom.
Yep.
And this here, folks, and people call me dumb all the time. I know.
Well, you are.
Well, no. Mike from Flipping Birds asked me this question. He didn't call me dumb, but he asked me, he was like, why would you shoot that gun? I shoot an over-under. And it's not only because I'm good with it. That is I can hit with that gun quite well, and I'm not, and that's because it's short, and I am a shorter guy. I have a very short reach, so that gun works well for me. But that gun, I tell you what, goes boom no matter what. I can do whatever I want to that gun, drop it in whatever I want, and it'll go boom, because there is no action, there is no slide, there's nothing going on but a pin hitting a primer. That's it.
Well, honestly, though, you only need 2 shots. I mean, by the time you pull your gun up, the bird...
Oh, 100%. And it works well for me anyways, because, like I said, I don't call the shot. Justin calls the shot up here, but down home I do call the shot. But I'm last to pick my gun up, whether we're at home or here. Both times. Because I will call until their feet up, touching the water. And then usually it's boom, 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 boom. And then I pick my gun up and finish off whatever's going on. So it's great. 2 shots works for me fine. And I love that gun so much. Just because I bought a gun simply so I could have a 3rd shell. And I hated every minute of it.
I listen to these guys, and I don't hear you guys' comments. But I listen to these two talking about how... I listen to you guys, these guys talk about how you guys dog them, saying that hunting flooded corn is cheating, not right, it's easy, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm telling you, come do it. Then tell me that.
Come try it. Well, send your pictures of your empty breath.
So these are the same guys that I don't understand. These are the same guys saying that goose bands don't count. All right, that makes no sense. I don't know where you're hunting, but if you're shooting bands off geese... That's a good achievement. Like, you get to keep that band, you're proud of that band. I don't understand unless you're hunting right off where they're fucking banding them and watching them band them and let them go and shoot them. I don't get how that's not an achievement. And then wood duck hunting is not duck hunting. And that's another thing. If you've ever hunted wood ducks, all right, I don't know how you guys do it down in the flooded timber, but up here, you got to fucking work for a wood duck.
It's hard to kill a wood duck.
If you want to kill a wood duck, you need to be on a specific spot, and you need to really work for it, because they don't just land for anything. They don't just come in for nothing. Like, you have to work to kill wood ducks.
You're rarely killing a wood duck feet down belly.
No, you're normally pass shooting them. So it just depends on where you're at. But the guy's saying that does not real duck hunting makes no sense to me. I'm like, what is real duck hunting to you then? I don't understand unless you're calling at mallards, which I'm not a mallard snob, but I do enjoy it. I love it because I love calling and I love working mallards. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. But I would never tell anybody that shooting any type of duck that they like is... The guys that kill old squaws all year long or kill buffleheads, I've killed buffleheads. They're dumb. I've never killed an old squaw, but Justin will contest it. They're dumb. They'll hit the side of your boat. You could swipe them down with a paddle. Like, I don't make fun of you. Like, that makes no sense. You don't have to have any achievement to go out and kill those guys. Like, I can sit out in a boat and be fishing and kill buffleheads.
And I have.
Exactly.
but the funny part is these guys that they say that hunting flooded corn is cheating. You guys have hunted enough with me up here now. How many times do I move decoys to finish birds?
We move them all the time.
Quite a bit.
And how many times do we adjust here, adjust there, adjust
How many times
that?
do I adjust calling? I adjust calling all the time.
These birds that we hunt are so educated.
They know what's going on.
That when you finish a bird up here in November...
You did it right.
These are educated birds.
You know that you did it right. That bird really believed it.
But yeah, and the other thing on this is these guys that say flooded corn's bad. You guys got to remember that they leave this corn up for the spring migration coming back to the breeding grounds. So these birds don't only use this during hunting season when we get to harvest them, but it's also there for the migration back north.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a stopping point for these birds to refuel, re-energize, feed. I mean, anybody that's against this, I don't know. I mean, I guess that I'd probably hate on it too if I lived down south. Our winters are now nothing up here, so you don't get our mallards. Well, guess what? I'm happy you don't, but it sucks for you, I mean...
I don't, that'd be like me looking at Canada and being like, "Oh, you guys hunting the fucking tundra or whatever you want to call it up there, you're a bunch of losers because you get to kill 8 birds of any fucking species of any sex that you want, and you're a bunch of losers, and that's stupid." That's not fair to me to say. They're hunting under their legal restrictions, and they're doing a great job of doing it. I get to hunt underneath mine. I don't get to kill 8 birds, first of all, and I don't get to kill 8 birds of whatever sex and any species I want. But that's why you guys have me coming up there to kill birds, like, and that's what makes sense to me, you know. And that doesn't mean if I go to Canada, I'm going to kill birds. Like, there's a lot of guys up there that would say the same thing, like, "Oh, it ain't easy. Just because there's birds here doesn't mean it's easy." So that can be worked for any scenario at any place. If you're good at where you're hunting, like, good for you, but that doesn't mean you can come to my spot and kill birds. You don't know what you're doing.
Well, and that's the other funny part is, and I know I'm going to get flack for this because everybody hates to hear the word biologist, but this new strain of mallard that is out, and Canada geese, don't leave Michigan or Ohio.
No.
It's a proven fact.
They're built for the cold.
Yep, they have radio transmitters on them, and they don't leave.
What we asked the biologists, most of them don't make it past the Ohio River Valley.
Yeah.
The Ohio River Valley, what did he say? Like,
it was like 80-something%.
he said 87% don't make it past the... They get down to the Ohio Valley, and they sit there for a second. If it's like negatives here, if it's like so cold they'll die, they sit there, and as soon as it comes back up, they come right on back up.
Exactly.
And there's the new geese don't leave at all. They don't do shit, and they're interpopulating now with all the regular Canadas, and they don't do a damn thing. They don't leave, and it's actually caused some of the normal Canadian geese to die out because they're sitting with these geese thinking that they're all right. Like, "Oh, we'll just sit with these guys."
Absolutely.
That doesn't work. These guys are built for it. They know what they're doing.
And I don't know how all this happened.
I don't either.
It's happening.
Adaptation, I would guess.
I don't know if it's a new strain, if it's just evolution, if it's whatever it is. I don't know where these birds came from, but we have talked about it before where there's Canadian geese that they're bigger than our big Canadian geese, and they're sitting here on frozen ice, and they don't give a shit. They don't care. They'll sit here all year round.
Well, there was an open spot on the Saginaw River a couple weeks ago when everything was frozen up tight, and there was 30,000 mallards.
Jesus.
In one open hole. They never left. That hole never froze.
That is insane.
And they sat there. Now everything's open back up.
So while we're on the topic of ducks, your top 5 bucket list birds. Justin, you go first.
Oh no.
Top 5?
Oh no.
King Eider.
Oh, that's on everybody's list. That's gotta be, right?
I really would like to shoot a bull pintail with a really nice sprig. Because obviously we don't see them here.
Wow. Are we talking out of Northern America too?
I'm talking
anywhere.
here.
I got my 4.
Oh, here. All right.
Cinnamon teal.
All right. Yeah.
Just here?
America. Let's talk Northern America.
We'll talk anyway.
We'll say Northern America.
So I got 3.
Yeah.
You said the king eider, a bull,
pintail, and a cinnamon teal.
Well, I mean, I've shot bull pintail, but I need one with.
He wants one that's like fucking magnificent.
Yep.
I can't believe you haven't said a bull can yet.
That's my next one.
So you got
but I've
4.
shot a bull cam, but not in full plumage. So that's next.
It's hard to get full plumage up here.
So that's 4. So what is my 5th one?
God damn.
I think I got my 5.
Honestly, probably a full plumage whistling duck.
Full plume whistling duck. Okay.
So, that's interesting. I like that. We won't kill that up here, but like California.
So there was one on the Tittabawassee River a couple springs ago.
Really?
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'd have been out there with the 20.
I think I got my 5. King Eider, obviously. A Harley Quinn.
That's my number 1.
A Harley Quinn for sure. I love that. I love that duck. A Harley Quinn, a big old canvasback, a cinnamon teal, and like the most pretty fucking blue that I can find.
Okay, I hope I'm
Blue-winged
not...
teal?
No, a blue snow goose.
Oh, blue snow goose.
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I hope... Yeah, okay, I'm glad you said goose, because for a minute I thought we were only talking duck, because a couple of mine are not duck.
No,
we can go geese.
no, a blue from a snow goose.
Harley Quinn's my number 1. My number 2 is to draw a tundra swan tag.
Oh shit!
my number 3 would be king eider. My number 4 would be a stud snow goose. And then my number 5 is probably just a bull pintail.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. These are all great lists.
Yeah. You said you had your 5. Let's hear it.
He knows a Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that's
King Eider's got to be.
King
on
eider's
there.
got to be on there.
my number 1 would be a bull pintail.
Okay.
Those are the stud. Oh my god,
They're
you
pretty.
can't beat.
I mean, I shot 3 bull
My number-
pennies this year, but they didn't have sprigs.
My number 2 would be a bull can.
Yes,
like full
I'm with you
plumage.
on that. Canvas
Yeah,
back would
canvas
be a
back would
fucking
probably be
With the
awesome.
Harlequin. I have never shot a spec in my life. I've never seen a spec, so I would put a spec on my list.
All right.
And then I would put a snow on my list. So I've never seen or shot a snow. I've seen snows like very seldomly, but you'll on occasions
Right.
see them in a field somewhere. And
Yep.
yes, I know they're not swans. I'm not stupid, but that would be my
No, those
I've
are
never seen
all.
the snow either.
Those are all great lists.
Have you ever seen snows down by us?
But I would like to shoot a
Once.
cinnamon too.
Once?
Like,
Once.
Must have been years
I know-
ago.
I know
Yeah,
cinnamon-
flying
cinnamon-
over.
cinnamon
So
Once.
I've been
kinda-
a part of 6 hunts in Michigan that we've shot snows or blues, but the one that we had absolute mature snows, I had a field that was just loaded with Canadas, and we were out there that morning. We needed 2 more geese for our limit, and they were in that flock. And them snows would not come down.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking a 75, 80 bird flock working in. Bottom half sucks right in. Top half don't. In layout blinds. In a chisel plowed cornfield with 0 cover once they're down.
Gotcha.
Kill the 2 birds. Let's get this done. But they literally, you look up and they're right there.
Now, I will say this too. This crossed my mind. It was almost on my list, and it might actually make the list. A Pacific Brant.
That'd be a good one.
So
That's
a
in
bunch
my
of
top
them got
10.
shot on Saginaw Bay this year.
Well, I wasn't a part of it.
Well, I was not.
I'll make sure to
there.
bleep out his name, but when came and picked up his turkey or his duck calls a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
did you know that their hunting group was a part of a snow goose, a Ross goose, and a speck in 3 different hunts this year? In Napoleon.
In Napoleon?
In Napoleon.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah,
It
wild.
happens a lot in Michigan now, man. Them birds, they come off their flight pattern, and it's not whole flocks.
We took pictures of
We had
specs.
specs.
We took pictures of specs right in the
There's
field
probably,
next
what,
door to me.
20 of 'em?
I was going to pick him up one morning to go to the call shop, and I called him and I said, "Willie, you'll never fucking believe what's in this field." And he goes, "What?" I'm in the middle of the road stopping traffic because I'm out there fucking like, I'm like, yeah, you guys look at me, and here they are, a pack of like 30 freaking speckle bellies sitting there. They're just looking at me like, "What are you, dude?" I'm like, "Willie, I'm coming to get you. Don't you worry." I come down there and get him, and I come all the way back up to that field. And when he got out, he goes, "Holy shit, there's specks in that field." I said, "Enjoy it while it lasts, because they're not gonna be here long."
You know, that's the other funny part is, like, this year there was snow shot in this managed area.
Flamingo and Michigan.
Flamingo.
Them weren't shot.
Oh,
But they were here.
No, but if it would have been me and Willie.
Oh, that's what people don't understand.
None of there's a pink goose.
You guys ever heard of the Egyptian geese?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not.
They're killing them in Florida with pellet guns.
Is that Egypt? Yeah.
It's an Egyptian goose.
Well, when I dropped my bird off at Dean, he said one of his guys caught. He shot a rare. It looks like a Canadian, but apparently there's something a little.
They look like a speckle belly, but like cooler.
Yeah, they got a lot more color to them.
Yeah, they got a lot more
It
color.
might not have been Egyptian. I don't remember, but he said they look kind of like Canadians, but there's something a little different to them. It's a different breed of goose, and he's mounting like 3 of them right now for some
Oh shit.
dude.
Well, so the Egyptian geese.
That's a Drake Egyptian goose.
All right.
So
not
the
bad.
Egyptian geese
Sorry.
are actually an invasive species down in Florida, and they're down there.
That's what everybody has in their
And-
yards walking around here.
They're fucking killing the shit out of them with pellet guns down there. And I would love to have one on my wall, so I wouldn't mind going down to Florida.
Going down iguana shooting? Is that what you said?
I'd love to do that too. That
All right,
looks
Sarah,
like
you
fun.
heard it here. Get us down
We
there.
do have a partner that actually guides in Florida, so
Get us on some
if
Egyptian
she
geese.
wants to get us on some Egyptian geese
Iguanas.
and iguanas, we'll take iguanas.
Hey, their alligator season's coming up too. We can get an alligator while we're down there.
Can I shoot it with my bow?
I don't think you can, but I'm just guessing.
I'm pretty sure you can.
Oh, 100%.
Well, let's look this up.
You can shoot gators with a bow.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
100%.
Have I shown you guys this goose I'm getting mounted?
Yes, you did. It has like orange feet or pink feet or whatever.
Oh yeah, you showed me
Yes,
a picture.
yes. That fucker looks like a brand. It looks like a kind
There's a
of.
dude around the corner from me got it.
God, that's
He
awesome.
needs a sign.
No,
You can't in Florida. Louisiana, yes. Florida, no. That is sweet.
it looks like a brand, kind of. It's got like that dark undertone right here. It's
Yeah.
like it's to its neck.
It's like charcoal-y.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Does you see the feet though?
He's got like orange,
Oh, that's
orange pinkish feet.
weird.
That is wild.
And that is a huge bird.
Them definitely aren't.
Now, hey, if we did, I know we'd have to Google this because most of us don't know. But if we did national birds, like all around the world,
Justin was gonna throw something at me if we were going national.
look up smew.
Because my
man.
number 2 is gonna be the
What's a
giant coot.
shmew?
A smew?
Yeah.
Look up. Hey,
you seen
hey,
that?
You know,
quality guy, look up a smew and show it to him.
so for any of you guys that have never hunted with a coot lover,
Smew.
I envy you.
Cool lovers.
Smew duck, man. Look
Because
that
It's
up.
pretty.
Yes, show it to him. Show it to him. That fucker's gnarly.
we pull into fields and and Willie wants to start blasting.
I'll splooge for a coot, man.
Pisses me off.
Were you with me this morning? I ran the one over.
Yes.
Wild looking
Yes.
dude.
Because I jumped out of
He
the boat
jumped out to
get
go
it.
get it. We ripped it in
You
fucking
were still moving.
smithereens.
I was like, I gotta jump out while you're moving around this turn because I knew if I said there's a coot in the water, I want to get it. You would.
no, we're literally driving down the freaking path, and here goes a bunch of coots, and we're just going, and you're like, wow, look at all these coots, and all of a sudden one of them dumb motherfuckers was like, I'll take this boat on, don't you fucking worry, I got this, boys. Yeah, he lost to the boat.
So on the way back out, I saw
What's
the coot.
funny, though, is we got the coot king, and the only dumb son of a bitches to kill a coot all year were me and Justin Dixon.
Yeah, you out-cooted me all year.
The fuck?
Record shooting a coot, Justin.
The fuck?
In my defense, I was chasing a cripple in the corn and seen something move.
You know?
In my defense, I saw a bird flying and lock up in the spread, and I pulled up and said, "You're dead."
I'm hearing a lot of excuses. That's all I'm saying.
Just like assholes, everybody's got one.
Yeah.
You know what? This guy, you don't want to go with him on a coot hunt because the son of a bitch will literally see mallards flying, and be like, I'm gonna leave and go down there and shoot coots. I'll be back. And he'll fucking leave.
horrible.
He'll leave.
Don't leave.
He'll be like, I'm gonna go shoot coots, boys, and he'll go down there and shoot coots. He begs me to go to this certain spot up north on the bay.
I don't even
that
duck hunt. That's
all it fucking is, is coots. And I'm like, dude, if you want to go there so bad, drop me off on a fucking somewhere else and go shoot coots, and I'll shoot something else because I don't want to waste my shells. I don't want it. If I shoot one coot, it was an accident. If I shoot 2, I'm having a bad day. If I shot 3, I'm pissed off at the world. If I shot 4, fucking kill me.
The 24 season, I'm getting a coot mounted. It's
I fucking hate you. I hate you.
happening.
He begged.
Commercial break.
He begged for his dog. He wanted his dog, the first bird it retrieved, to be a coot.
I
He
really
begged.
thought
He
this
want.
was
Oh
good.
my god! I'm like, dude, please don't ruin this fucking dog, please.
So, new rule for the 2024 season here is 0 coots.
All right, I'm up for that.
I only gotta shoot one, then you guys can kick me off for the rest of the year. I'll break the rule. I'm good.
I hope you do it opening. I hope you do it opening fucking day. Opening day.
I will buy another boat just so you can go with
I
me. It's
appreciate it, man.
Don't egg him on. He's a fuck.
fine. You don't understand who I am. Like
I know, but you're egging him on. And you don't
I
know
love
who he
me
is.
some coot, man. I like to shoot
I
coot.
do all
He's
for it, I don't
he's
care.
the guy that shoots the coot just so he can be like, I gotta fucking marinate this thing for 72 hours, but goddamn, it's delicious. You know what I gotta do with my mallard? You know what I gotta do? Not a fucking thing. I don't have to do a damn thing.
No meat goes to waste.
No, I agree. If you shoot it, you're gonna eat it. I do agree with
That's why I
that.
don't shoot the son of a bitch.
But I don't have to marinate
I
the
tell you
fucking
what, I'll
mallard.
tell you what, Justin. From now on, for the 2024 season, I'll make a deal with you. Shoot every coot you see, breast it out. I'll pay you $1 a coot.
Negative.
It was like hard.
That's because Justin sees that green tint underneath there and goes,
My shells cost more than you're going to pay me for a coot.
Oh, that's not true.
what do you pay for Rios? $20? $18?
Can you hold on? Can you even find Rios right now?
He can. He's the Rio fucking master. Wait, whoa. We're going to backtrack. Hold up. I just said Rio on the podcast is sponsored by Migra.
Yeah, I got
Hold on.
Ah, feed 'em the blues,
No,
boys.
we're Hey, feed him the white. We're sponsored. Out to Q-Tip. Sponsored by Migra. And Willie's wearing a Migra hat.
Hey, you guys don't need to shoot Rios. I do.
That's true. The guide shoots Rios.
When I shoot heavy steels.
Holy fuck, you shoot heavy steels?
He only shoots a fucking box a year.
Well, that's true. He only goes like 3 times.
No,
That's why
I bought a trip. I bought a case of them heavy steels. I bought they're 3 shots, 3 inches. I bought a whole fucking case for like $137.
That ain't bad. What do you pay for?
Gunbreaker,
You don't
bro.
pay that. You don't even pay that for a case, do you?
Oh yeah, fuck Rios now
They went up to almost 200. Didn't they?
yeah, almost 200.
Holy
Damn, they're almost
fuck
as expensive as
me!
Migra now.
By golly,
Gunbroker, baby. I buy whatever I can get on.
shoot your stacked load.
Thank you for listening to Locked On Sounds podcast. We want to take a moment to thank one of our most important sponsors, Nolan's Poorhouse Coffee Company. Saving lives, 1 cup of coffee at a time. Sit with family and friends and spend some quality time with those who will support you. Now back to your favorite podcast.
Apparently, Mossberg's the only one that's got anything worth decent right now, and I hate to say that with
No.
passion.
No.
I guess I could get a Franchi.
A5 just came
I'm
out.
sorry. 410.
Oh, you want a 410?
410.
Okay.
Okay.
There is, I'll have to look at what brand it is because honestly I'd never heard of it before we bought one for the shop. But there's a 410 we bought for the shop that we've put probably 4,000 or 5,000 rounds through in the past few months. It's off-brand. It's like $130 for the gun.
Oh,
It's great.
It's a semi-auto?
It's a semi-auto.
Sold.
I'll have to look at what brand it is. It's some off-brand.
Hang on.
It's great.
So you're gonna have to order a couple of them because that's my rabbit gun.
Yeah, they're cheap and they're pretty great. So I'll look up the brand.
This guy's
I got
gaining
them all,
business.
but, like, you've seen my kids. They're little soul stealers.
Yeah,
I can't
bunch of gingers. I know.
I can't put a 20 in their arms because they'll all go flying. I can put a 410 in every one of their arms though because they can all shoot it.
Yeah,
my
'cause we-
5-year-old can spank the 20 and we're good.
Because when you said 20, I was like, oh, there's fucking better ones than Mossberg out there. A5 just released theirs. Benelli's got theirs. Franci's
See,
got theirs.
I'm not a fan of the new Browning.
Oh, my. Oh, no. Oh, you know what? Good thing we're farther in the podcast. I love the Browning. Oh, my
I
God.
think they're a solid gun.
I love
but
it.
I don't think the A5s are what they used to be.
Oh, well.
I have heard some bad reviews.
So hold on, I will say I have not I haven't shot the new ones. I shoot a B2000 and I love it, and
When-
that's
when
the
we
first
say- when we-
first gas gun they had.
When
Or,
we say-
sorry,
when we say
inertia. I think it's
new-
inertia.
When we say new,
No idea.
how far back we going here? Like,
Well, these
2
fuckers are only
years?
20 years old, so it's not very.
So the
far.
B2000 was actually the first. You load it from the side, like you load it from the side. It was
So-
the first semi. I think one of the first semi-autos that Browning ever came out with. So I haven't shot their new shit. The 20 gauge is actually brand spanking new. I think they just came out with it in the last couple of weeks.
so I have an original A5, a Belgian, and it's whatever fucking year that is.
Mm-hmm.
That's a solid gun, but it's only a 2 3/4 gun.
That's all mine
It's
is. Yep.
old.
Yep.
My
You guys are
cousin-
getting up with the 3 Series podcast out of
We're
this
at
one.
2 hours and 9 minutes right now. So
Yeah, because we're not even done yet.
my cousin bought a brand new A5 from, well, it was Bears at the time. Now it's Thurston's. 2 years ago.
Big fan of Thurston's, by the way. Big fan.
Traded that fucker in and got a SX4 because he fucking hated it.
I haven't shot their new
No,
stuff, so
I've
I
never
can't.
shot an
I can't say.
SX4.
Yeah, well,
But I will swear up and down by an SX2 and an SX3.
Oh, the shoulder's the same.
well,
never shot a 4.
I know me.
But I'm mad that they got rid of their Duragrip because that shit was the fucking bomb.
I know me, and it doesn't matter. I have to shoot, so I can't just go into a store and buy a gun. I can't. I've tried a couple times actually. I can't do it though because
Because you got T-Rex.
And that is. I was getting there. I have T-Rex arms. I am so short to the point where if I go and shoot a normal gun, like if I walk in and try to shoot a Benelli or if I'm trying to shoot an SX4, I can't shoot that fucker to save my life because I can't draw it. So I have to shoot short, and I got to get it like a youth model. So that's why, actually, honestly, I'm looking for a 20 gauge. I think would be up. So where we hunt, I hate a 20 gauge. I hate the idea of it because we're past shooting at 40 yards.
Yeah.
I'd like the heavier load. Here, if I lived here and I was hunting here year round, oh my god, I'm shooting a 20 gauge every day of my life because I really think a 20 gauge here, the way we were killing them,
sure.
we're killing them feet up in the spread.
That's what you said you wanted to get for next year.
I think
right?
you could
With
fucking
20?
just, and you would have the most delightful time. There's no kick. It would be the best day you've ever had in the field.
100%.
And you killed your limit of mallards if you're having a good day and you're like, oh my god, I just had so much fun. I've never had that much fun.
Yeah.
But right now I'm going to stick with my over-under because it's short as fuck.
I did learn working at this gun shop. Never thought of it before because I've never had an issue with it. But I didn't realize how many different size stocks you can buy for short people.
Oh yeah.
Like, I knew they made extenders, but I didn't know you could get custom short ones from me.
They make midget size?
No, so here's the worst part. I
call them youth and child, but
I have a 28-inch barrel doesn't work. It's that's my issue. So I took my stock. I shot it goose season without a pad on it.
Right.
No pad. I shot it straight plastic to my shoulder.
Different stocks, like
and so
probably an inch. Maybe so.
That's what I'm saying. But when I pulled up, that I would need the stock cut. Like I need to cut the stock to pull up and be correct.
Yeah. Goddamn, I was only picking on you. How short is your goddamn arm?
I have a
What's your on the bowl? What's your draw?
27 and a half.
Oh, I was gonna say
27.
27 and a half. If I'm shooting a thumb release, 27 if I'm shooting a wrist. Because the thumb brings it up a
Damn,
little
I'm
bit
like
more.
a 35.
You ain't no fucking 35.
You might be like a
It's like a
30 or
33.
you might be a 30 or a 30.
No, bullshit. We'll measure that fucker right now. You are not. No fucking 30, no
They
35.
don't even make a bowl with a
No,
fucking
fuck no.
draw
Well,
like that long.
not 35. 33 I think they do now, but you'd have to buy
I
a
think
special
it's a
bow.
33.
I don't fucking know.
But it's a 33 and it's short for me. I gave it to my sister.
We're fucking
I know
measuring
people way
it.
back
We'll
in
measure
the
it.
I don't care what he does, as long as he's the first one to hop out of
Well,
the boat.
how
we're
about
not
this?
sure.
You need your gun cut down, take it to Dick Williams, they'll get you covered.
There you go.
I just like my over-under. I shoot it. And I'll be honest.
You got like a Synergy or something or what?
No, it's an Impala. Impala over-under, but it has been cut.
I shoot the cheapest shotgun here, and I'll run it against anybody.
I don't know
If you shoot the cheapest shotgun here.
No,
I
that
don't-
fucker's got a $200
I shoot a
shotgun.
Mossberg fucking 88.
A pump.
Oh,
Pump.
yeah.
Yeah,
shit, no.
that thing was like $200 brand new.
I don't know what I don't know what that Impala is. I've never looked them up because
I
it was my dad's gun. I have no idea what it
What's
is.
that, M3500?
Sure.
I don't know.
That's what I run. But before that, I ran the old trusty Remington A70.
You can ask Willie. I have switched guns 5 times? Probably.
That's not a lot.
I've switched guns a million times trying to get that third shell and trying to be better. And every time the next hunt, he's like, "What are you shooting?" I'll pull that over under out every time. And I know by the second hunt, I'm like, "Fuck that! I'm shooting this gun because I can hit with this gun. Everything else is a no go. I can't do it."
Well, what I like to laugh at is every year people are like, "What choke should I use? What ammo should I use?"
We just talked about this earlier.
Just talked about it on the way here.
Oh, on the way here?
On the way
I
fucking
wasn't on the
here.
podcast. What should I use? Should I use this? Should I use that? No, what you should do is you should buy as much ammo as you possibly can and run it through whatever choke you feel like you want to use, and you should probably see what pattern's the fucking best out of your gun.
And that's what I did, like I mean, you guys all know I shoot a pattern master called Black Duck, but that gun, or that choke in my gun, I don't care if I shoot Rios, Winchester Experts, Heavy Steel. I mean, I've never shot Migras, but I'm sure it'd all be the same. I don't care what I throw through it. That gun pattern.
Right.
Hey,
every gun's different?
I'll out somebody right now. I'll tell you what shell you shouldn't shoot because you'll pattern master and go flying. Don't shoot Boss shot shells.
Fuck those guys.
Because your barrel will be in a fucking couple of
Well,
splinters.
first of all, you got to
Damn,
win
I've
the
shot
goddamn
some of
lottery
my
to.
cattle fine, so
There's been some pretty bad reviews coming out the past year or so.
Those guys are from Michigan too,
Yeah.
but you know.
I feel bad because like I try to support local, but if your shit's fucked
Well,
up,
I like
fuck
the
you.
fact that Boss will put like they did for Butch. They'll put a little bit of your ashes in after you pass away and let your
Yeah,
buddies
they do that.
Let you send let
Shout
your
out
buddies
to Butch
sit-
Bovine, the dude was a legend.
It just so happens that their hull and that their wad is a little bit thicker for some reason, and you can ask him. I couldn't get it out of my over-under. The wad is the way that they do it. It's for some reason it's a tad bit thicker. I had to grab that sucker and pull pretty damn hard to pull it out of mine. You couldn't eject it.
Well, that's the same with them black clouds.
No, the wad was.
It's the
the
wad.
wad was stuck.
Certain shells have that wad retention system in them. Black clouds you cannot shoot through a pattern master. It'll blow your gun up.
I
Both
don't
of
know.
our guns had an issue with the box.
I had an issue with them. I didn't like them.
That was one of
but-
the worst, like $300 I've ever spent.
Yeah.
See, like now out of my gun,
No,
I shoot
see,
cows.
hang on. Last year when I met you guys swore by these son of a bitches.
Don't get me wrong. It has the bismuth has power to it. It packs a punch.
Okay, so and that's funny too because that was the first time I shot bismuth. So when I had nothing but issues with them. So Willie shot them most of the year. I could not get them to eject from my gun to save my life, and I couldn't pull them out of my over under. So Willie shot him most of the year, and when he would shoot them, he's shooting a pump. he could get them to eject, but it wasn't doing it right all the time. It was being a pain in the ass. But I will say they shot really well. Well, I went and shot, the fuck's the name? Kent bismuth, which I got for Christmas. I didn't buy them. That's $50 a box. But I will say, if you're shooting bismuth, there's a difference. There is.
There's a huge difference.
Last year we shot a duck that I shot a duck that you guys were like, don't pull up on that duck. What the fuck are you doing? Whoom! And it was like 65 yards up, and it died. And that's honestly, because of that shell when I was shooting at it. But
you got to remember though, if you are shooting decoying ducks when you should be pulling the trigger, I don't give a shit if you're shooting a 2 3/4 inch.
Well, and that's the difference.
That's the difference. That's the difference between where we hunt and then hunting up here. If I'm coming up here, like I said, I would shoot a 20 gauge, 3 inch probably, maybe 2 3/4, but probably 3 inch, and
I would
wouldn't
trust myself to shoot a
and
4
wouldn't
ton
give
up here,
and wouldn't give a fuck
in your
what
face.
ammo's in my gun. Now, when we're bound home, I do like to know what I'm shooting, and I do shoot more expensive shells down home because it is 40 yards crossing my face at 60 miles an hour. That fucker is moving.
Yeah, but you guys have watched me full birds at 60 plus.
But we've crippled. I've
With
used
my
Winchester
cheap shells.
and Rio down home, and we cripple them. And we don't have a dog. Well, we didn't have a dog. We do now, which is a big difference. But we've crippled them, and then you shoot a bismuth shell, and it's like that fucker's dead. Now, yes, I did have to pay a shit ton more money, and if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. It just depends on where you're hunting, but I do think bismuth has more knockdown power, and if you're shooting across your face,
Right,
I
I'm
like it
talking
better.
decoying ducks.
Yes.
Which we just don't do for some
My
reason.
problem is though with that pattern master is if them ducks are actually in your face, you guys both know this.
Oh, it blows them apart.
Or you
If
miss.
I hit 'em.
Yeah, it's either but you know what? I'll give you credit though. If you're shooting, some guys shoot a full because it's either a clean miss or a clean hit. If you're I shoot. What do I shoot?
Couldn't tell you.
Improved modified. Improved modified, and so anything past 40's iffy. So I don't shoot past 40 because that's getting kind of wild. But anything close is great. But some guys swear by shooting nothing but a full because they're like, hey, if I miss it, at least I know I missed it. But if I hit it, the fucker's dead. It is crumpled.
Right.
It's gone. Like, I know I hit it.
Well,
You
guys have watched me pillowcase on.
Oh, 100%. I feel bad for the duck because it's like, well, I don't feel bad, but it just disappears. Like, it's, and you're like, oh, damn,
Boy.
that duck's gone. You know, you shot that wood duck this year at like 20 yards, and it just went poof. And I was like, oh, it's gone. Now, that wasn't as bad as my opening day scenario where I shot that fucking teal at -10 yards. That was
-10. What was it sitting on?
Oh
your
my
barrel?
god,
It
dude.
landed in front of us.
I felt so
Hunter
bad.
pulls the trigger and moves the duck 30 yards back.
So it literally landed in front of us, and I had a panic attack because it landed. It almost hit me, and it landed, and I pulled my gun up, and I was like, "Oh my god, there's a duck!" So I aimed at its head. Well, it saw me, and it turned, it spun, and went to swim away. And when I pulled the trigger, it was no longer on its head. I shot that duck. It landed about 30 yards in front of me, where all the other ducks were being killed. I went and got it, and I was like, "Oh boy, that's tough." I ripped that duck into, just smithereens. I felt terrible. I was like, "Oh no!" I picked it up.
Why'd you feel bad? Quick death.
It was quick death, but it was not very edible.
Yeah.
And that was
meat.
the problem. I ripped that thing into bajillion pieces, and I looked at Justin, and he goes, "What the fuck, small fry?" And I'm like, I panicked. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Well, opening morning was crazy because it just so happened that small fry had must be the prime fucking position because it's like boom, 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 and I'm just killing ducks. And I'm like, holy fuck, what is happening, guys? Are you seeing birds? They're like, we can't see. But if you're short, when that sun comes up, the tall guys see shadows. You know what the short guys see? We see a fucking blank sheet of sun on the water, and when a shadow crosses it, we see it.
But there's two short guys in the field, though, and one tall guy.
Well, he just so happened to be on the very end. He took the worst fucking spot.
And then, unfortunately, the other guy on the end couldn't hit a duck in front of him.
Well, he was having a bad day. We're not shitting on him because he picked that spot. Way to be to him. He just is having a rough day with his gun.
Caleb Brown.
Sorry. But the short guy in the fucking middle could see the ducks. And so when they're landing, everybody's like, and it's whoom, where the fuck are you shooting me? I got 3 birds. Woohoo! woo, going out there and getting them,
was
coming
fun.
back. It was an amazing hunt, and it got to the point where I was telling Justin, I'm like, Justin, you need to move with me. He's like, no, I'm not fucking moving with you. He's like, you know me, I shoot lots of birds. I shot another bird, and he goes, all right, motherfucker, you need to get out of there and come to my spot. I'm gonna go to your spot. I was like, okay, and then they kept shooting birds. It was a fucking amazing
That was a
day. It
fun
was
hunt.
great.
So what we need to do.
That was actually day 2 because opening day we went and shot.
We shot geese. We shot geese. We shot
I got my first
2
ever
bands.
banded goose.
We got two
Bands
that day.
Yep.
So Justin's got a camper now.
Isn't it in Detroit?
It won't be during duck season.
Oh.
So I have a duck camp at my house every year. A certain group of people that
Bro,
come.
you see them cots?
Yeah, we sleep in this barn.
we sleep
But
right here.
it's way funner to have campers at my house.
And have the bonfire and do the whole
Yeah,
camp out
that-
and drink a shit ton of beer.
Well, yeah, what he said.
What
that
I said.
changes what the hell we do here.
No, I'm kind of sad because I'm out of beer.
There's beer in the fridge. You just gotta switch off your fucking high class shit.
I am buy it.
I'm the Coors Banquet's one of the only beers I'll drink. I'm not much of a beer guy.
No, I don't need another one. I know we're finishing up the pod here
Hold
pretty
on.
soon.
I
Eventually,
got something for you guys.
Oh boy,
he's got something.
he's got something.
Hey, they've already had it.
Finish it off.
I'm not gonna finish it off.
Yeah, take it.
Hold on, I gotta open it.
You got it. I believe
And the
in you.
190 proof apple pie comes back to the podcast.
That stuff is good.
Save my sip. There you go. You got a sip left. We're good.
Oh yeah, that's good shit. God damn it, I want more of that, Justin.
Oh, hey Jeff called.
How much would you pay for a bottle? How much would you pay for a bottle of that? We're not paying. We're not paying for illegal booze.
$30.
Honestly, it's one of my fellow charter captain guys that was here and brought that one night.
He brought it. How much would he charge for a bottle of
Makes
that?
it.
That's fucking
They already
good.
had that too.
We went through our round.
If I had that in my fridge,
Open the
I'd be
freezer
drunk.
though.
I would be drunk until it was gone.
I'd be in big trouble.
I got shit here.
You do?
Jesus.
All right. All right. Where do we want to go next, Willie? We want to talk about anything else?
I don't know what else you guys got.
So
I know these are mine.
I want to go back to the fishing MWT tour
Okay.
All right.
before we end.
You sure you don't want to go back to deer hunting? I got some stuff to say.
No. So I want to drop a thanks to our sponsors, and if I forget somebody, Tyler, you remind me. But I really want to thank Live Beta Saginaw. I want to thank the Lockdown Sound Boys. I want to thank
I hear those guys are
Michigan
assholes.
Pallet, Panfish Slayers,
Slosser and Sons Critter Removal.
Slab City Baits,
Slab City
Slab
Baits.
City Baits, there
we
he
go.
is.
yeah,
Classic guy.
and KB Tackle. Yes,
KB Tackle. All
He is
right,
gonna
we were
sup-
forgetting a
I
couple.
should have guessed that considering we're designing hoodies for him.
he is
I
gonna.
didn't know that.
He is gonna hook us up with some baits.
Oh my god, we're just passing this fucker around.
Oh, you're designing the hoodies?
I mean, it's his logo. He's just telling me where he wants them, and I'm sending him to our hoodie lady.
That's fine.
And I think I got everybody that is. Oh, no, because
We don't need this.
They haven't yet. So
We don't need.
Bastards.
yeah. So I wanted to thank those guys.
That's good. We were gonna ask you at the end of the podcast to give out sponsors, and then where can they find you?
So I have a website that is slappintailsguideservice.com. I'm on Facebook, Slappin' Tails Guide Service, and I'm on TikTok, Captain Justin Dixon at Slappin' Tails Guide
You
Service.
didn't finish that off.
You're an
Are you
asshole.
serious? All right,
It's in the business, I would say.
Best in the business.
best is in the business.
Best guide service east of the Mississippi.
And then you got
I would honestly stretch to say I don't think there's anybody, even before Justin started his guide service. Now, me and Justin know a lot of the other guides on the river. Even though I'm not a guide, he is. But we know a lot of the other guides on the river. I would venture to say there isn't anybody that's been on the river longer than Captain Dixon.
Probably a couple of the old guys, but
There might be a few, but
they're keeping it to themselves.
I
They're
I don't
pretty.
think there's many people that have been on that water and know it as well as Justin.
He knows it pretty
Very
well.
rarely do I hear Justin say he had a bad fishing trip.
Yeah.
Like today, today is a prime example. We ran 20-ish to 25 miles to put his clients on fish, and he just knew where to go. That says a lot about a captain.
Yes, sir, it does.
I don't give up, that's for sure. And
And I know for a fact we went by other charter captains that we know that they got fish, but they didn't get the numbers that we got today.
All right. Willie, is there anybody we need to shout out for Lockdown Sound?
Nope.
Nope. Just nobody?
I cut in their sponsors throughout the episode.
Oh,
They'll be
you're
alright.
darn right. You're for sure.
sorry about talking about other shot shells, Migra.
That's okay.
They'll be alright.
That's all right. We just talked to Q-Tip. He'll be all right.
Yeah.
Man, if I still ran my page, I'd shout it out, but I kind of...
So, well, there'll be an order coming soon for anybody who wants it.
Yes, sir.
I guess that's it. If you want to, obviously, you know where to find us. You're listening to the podcast, so,
Yep. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
yep. Have a good one.